Associates are here to assist you. We have essential items in the front of the store, making it easy for you to get what you need, and our online resources are available to guide you through your recovery. Because when our community needs us, the Home Depot is here to help.
Studios. This is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat for this Thursday edition as Week 8 of the NFL season begins tonight.
With a banger.
It's going to be a barn burner.
I do love I love how simple some people can be. Of the whole Minnesota Vikings organization is going to L.A. to watch Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp on Thursday Night Football because they're playing the Vikings.
The Vikings and the Rams tonight. Cooper Kupp should be back, so that's good news for the L.A. Rams. Have we heard an official word on that? If he'll be playing or not?
But it was trending in that direction.
Well, he almost played last week, from what we understand, and now this week he should be a go for the game. 8:15 start tonight. Vikings and the Rams, and we will have the full preview of it coming up for you in the third hour of the program.
I mean, if you
today.
want me to save you, 3.5 hours, let me tell you how tonight's going to go. Kirk Herbstreit's dog. Al Michaels says something completely out of left field that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Kirk Herbstreit's dog again. Sam Darnold touchdown. We all fall asleep in the third quarter. Another Sam Darnold touchdown. We go home 28-6 Vikings.
Wow. Okay. He's already got it mapped out. So apparently Vikings minus whatever.
Yes.
We'll give you the official picks.
If you're playing DraftKings and you need a captain, that feller, what's his name, Justin Jefferson, is feeling like a whale of a selection.
Speaking of the DraftKings, did anybody have LaMelo Ball last night?
Well, if you did, you won $1,000 bonus bet. $1,027.
Well, of course you did, because obviously we've been telling you about the DraftKings King of the Court contest.
We'll tell you more about that at the end of this segment.
First 10 days of the season, they're offering up. You pick a player prop, and if that player finishes as the leader in points, rebounds, and assists total, then you win a share of the $1 million pot in bonus bets. Well, the first night, you only had 2 games, and so everybody was loaded up on Anthony Davis, right? There were only a few guys that you could load up on in that certain contest. Last night, you had 10 games going, and you had to be a witch to have LaMelo Ball as the, what do they call it, the RAS? Or the
King of the Court.
Yeah, but there's an abbreviation. It's points. PRA, yeah, the PRA leader of the night. Who knew that LaMelo Ball would be it? But hey, Hornets fans, we're undefeated, damn it.
I would just love to have had a live look in on the 3 people that had Alperen Sengun, who was the leader going into that. They're sitting here going, I'm going to wind up with a $300,000 bonus bet because there were 3 people and 2 of them's last name was Sengun.
Yeah, we'll tell you more about that coming up in just a little bit. You can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use our promo code WPEK. So tonight, Thursday Night Football, Week 8 kicks off. We're looking ahead to the trade deadline. Things are coming down to the wire here. Trade deadline is what, next Tuesday?
Yes.
Or is it a week? Or is it a week from Tuesday?
It is. Now you got me guessing that.
Good day.
I've lost complete track of the date.
We'll confirm that for you. Trade deadline is coming shortly in the NFL, and
November 5th.
November 5th. Okay, so it's after the election. Okay, so we've got next week, and then the next week is the trade deadline. It'll be at 4:00 on that Wednesday afternoon.
Which means that Tuesday is going to be just a whale of fun.
It could be. I mean, we have had we do. I feel like we do this every year, and about once every 3 years, we get a really exciting trade deadline.
Oh my God, is that on Election Day?
The trade deadline will be after. So it'll be Tuesday the 4th is the election, Wednesday the 5th.
Tuesday the 5th is the election.
Oh, I thought it was
the trade deadline.
Oh, I thought it was.
Oh, it's the same day. So not only are you going to get the trade deadline, you'll probably have me dressed up like Uncle Sam singing Hulk Hogan's theme song.
That's dumb. We should have moved that down the line.
It feels like a nice little flappetizer.
All right, so I had my days wrong. All right, so election day is November the 5th. You'd think after recording all of those candidates, I would remember that November the 5th was the day. Anyway.
One job, no big deal.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like I got other stuff on my mind these days. We will look ahead to Week 8, of course, tomorrow on a Football Friday here in the Sportsocracy. But as we look ahead to the trade deadline, we're going to identify all of the needs that the contending teams have. We'll do the AFC and the NFC, split it up by the hour, and see if we can generate some trades here. And trades that make sense. You know, not like the Minnesota Vikings need a backup quarterback, so they're going to trade for Matt Stafford.
No.
What that doesn't make any sense.
All right, so I feel like we should lay some ground rules for this.
Okay.
For a team to give up a player, they either have to have a surplus at a position or they have to be completely out.
Okay.
Now we should define who is completely out. For me, that is you tell me where I find when I hit one that's wrong.
Okay.
The New England Patriots, Cleveland Browns, Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, Las Vegas Raiders, New York Giants, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Rams. Those are the only teams I have as completely out.
The Los Angeles Rams would be the first one that I question.
Oh, the Rams are done.
You think so?
I do. Oh, I mean, because you got to look at the schedule for one. Then you got to look at the fact that Puka Nacua is still not coming back for a while, and you've got Washington, Philadelphia, Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, whoever wins the South, and San Francisco and Seattle, that they would have to pass at least 3 of those teams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see how you're going to do that.
I think you covered all the bases here. Miami is close,
but I feel like Miami has a fictitious belief that Tua Tagovailoa is going to fix their problems. I actually would put them more in the buyer category than the seller category.
Okay.
Should they? Absolutely. You should sell off anything that's not nailed to the floor, but that's just my opinion.
And then the only other one I would question here would be, actually I got 2. Indianapolis
is 4-3. It's hard for you to be a seller at that point. There's also no one on that roster that I think would be a big ticket item for anyone. So it was pretty easy for me to go, I think they're fine.
All right, and then Arizona.
I don't think Arizona's a seller.
I don't
in their own mind.
I don't believe they are.
Now, I do have one player when we go through this that goes from Arizona, but that's not really a seller. It's this team really needs that and might overpay for it.
Gotcha. All right, a way to recoup some capital maybe for the Arizona Cardinals. All right, so let's get into it. First, where do you want to start in the AFC?
Up to you.
What? Well, I mean, let's start at the top. Kansas City is obviously they've already made one move to try to make their claim on the title stronger with the DeAndre Hopkins move. We've already seen them bring in Kareem Hunt to fill in a slot in the backfield. So what's left for them to do?
I don't necessarily think they're done at wide receiver. If you could get and the name I keep coming back to is Deontay Johnson. If you could find a way to procure him out of Carolina and it not cost you, I will say if you could get him for vaguely what it cost to get DeAndre Hopkins, I would be all the way into doing it.
So a 4th-round pick.
Well, it's a 5th-round pick that becomes a
conditional 4
if he plays 60% of snaps and starts in the Super Bowl. That's possible. I actually find the latter to be more likely than the former. I don't see any way he plays 60% of snaps going forward.
Okay.
That's not really something Kansas City does. If you look at their snap counts for non-Tyreek Hill, non-Travis Kelce receivers, they tend to mix these guys up quite a bit. But if I could get him for a 5 that becomes a 4, I would be all the way
in. All right. Deontay Johnson from the Panthers to the Kansas City Chiefs.
That was adorable. By the way, that was not my answer as to who they should go procure.
Okay.
If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm looking at my roster right now going, I feel like I'm receiver-wise, Pat Mahomes props up everybody. If I can get Deontay Johnson, great, but that's not really where I'm really leaning. They have a big hole on this roster, and it's at left tackle. If I could find a way, I only want one of them. Jacksonville has 3 tackles. Cam Robinson, Walker Little, Anton Harrison. You're not getting Anton Harrison. I feel like they would try to give you Walker Little, but Cam Robinson would be the one I wanted because he's a true, natural, honest-to-God left tackle. And do I love him? No. I didn't love Donovan Smith either. Guess what? He was your starting left tackle in the Super Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
You get me a vet, and I'm not convinced that fixes your problem, but I think it helps. Wanya Morris has been an absolute sieve. Kingsley Suamataia hasn't been much better. And I think that's going to be a problem when you start looking at the teams that you're going to have to go through. As it sits, Wanya Morris would have to deal with Danielle Hunter when they play Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like something that could ultimately send me packing. Tackle is thin.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of places that you're going to find one of those guys.
No, because, I feel like left tackles are a lot like quarterbacks. Right? It's hard to find a really bad team that has a no-doubter left tackle target. Because it's one of those premium positions that good teams mark that off pretty
There is
early.
a tackle that I think could be had. The only problem is he plays exclusively on the right side. That doesn't really do me any good because I can't play Jawan Taylor on the left. That was insane from the first time it was ever mentioned. But now having 2 of those guys, I don't think that fixes your problem.
Mm-hmm.
And as to who that right tackle is, we will get to that before it's all said and done.
All right. Let's go Buffalo Bills. Already added Amari Cooper.
Which, to me, that's all you really need receiver-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like Keon Coleman. Khalil Shakir's there. You've got Dalton Schultz. You got James Cook coming out of the backfield. I think you can win with that. If you were telling me right now Buffalo has one problem that's absolutely going to beat them, what would you say it is?
I don't know. I would probably think pass rush.
I would love to have a pass rusher because you've already got Greg Rousseau, who he's really, really good. Von Miller at this point is a part-time player at best. You trot him out there for 10 snaps a game. It would be nice to have somebody on the opposite side. The question is there a guy out there, and do not say Max Crosby. Not every team can have Max Crosby. Yes, he does go to a team in this little exercise. It ain't the Buffalo Bills.
Uh-huh. So is there another one that's available and that would make an impact? I mean, all of these teams probably have guys, but is it somebody that's going to make an impact?
I have one.
Okay.
Chase Young. I can trot him out there, interchange him with Von Miller. he holds up better against the run at this point than Von Miller does.
Okay.
And I've still got Dwayne Smoot that makes it kind of a rotation. I think a lot of teams will be interested in Chase Young before this all said and done. I'm just not sure New Orleans is going to come off of him. Why? I don't know. We do this every year he's only here for a year, right? Like he's going to leave for nothing.
I mean, unless you plan on giving him some kind of money next year.
I don't think even that would matter.
Because
New Orleans is killed against the cap.
Precisely.
You can't franchise him anyway because you could make the money work.
Mm-hmm.
So there's almost no chance he doesn't walk. I would get something for him.
What does he yield?
Chase Young?
Yeah.
4th round pick? Maybe a 5?
Mm-hmm.
The thing about him is that I believe there are several teams that would be interested if he was readily available.
Well, I mean, there's not too many dudes that are his age. He's still only 25 years old.
Which is insane.
Right, because it feels like he's been in this league for 8 years.
Well, I mean, he's on his 3rd team. That tends to help.
25 years old, and he's got all kinds of talent in there. And who knows how good he could be in the right situation, and maybe he is the missing link for the Buffalo Bills.
I think he fits nicely in what they try to do. And trust me, there were other teams I thought about with him because pass rush is it's a pretty consistent of, hey, I'd like to have another guy that can get after a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Just to me, the best fit is with Buffalo. We got a couple super chats before we go into a commercial break.
Okay, let's super chat it up here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Soaring Eagle talking about his Denver Broncos. I don't care what it takes. Go get me David Njoku or Cooper Kupp. I don't care. Go get Bo Nix. Somebody. Well, Denver is in this. They are mentioned in this, and it is a weapon. It is not either of the two of those, although both of those are moved in this little exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one more.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
It's from Red Sea. Yeah, I believe he was referring to his Arizona Cardinals when I said that there is a player that moves from them. He said, I feel like I know who it is, and I'm both scared and upset for that part of this little exercise. I'm going to bet you know who it is. It's the only player on your team that's named after a deity. Some kind.
On my team?
No, Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Who are you? Buddha?
Well, it's called a tease for a reason. You don't just go,
sorry. I didn't realize you were.
I mean, we all knew who it was. You just don't say the name out.
I mean, it's like being in high school. I knew the answer to that one, Teach. Let me say it.
Let
me say it.
War of 1812. What is 1812? I got it.
Got it. That's on a roll.
Look, that's a question that didn't require a lot of thought for the answer, but I got a question that does require a lot of thought. Mm-hmm. Does your favorite NBA player have what it takes to be crowned king of the court? Find out at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. DraftKings is offering $1 million a day in bonus bets for the first 10 days of the NBA season. That's $10 million in bonus bets, and here's how to shoot your shot. Opt in and get a daily NBA Profit Boost token. Pick a pregame NBA player prop to boost. If that player leads the league that night in points plus rebounds plus assists combined, you win a share of $1 million in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK to win a share of $1 million in bonus bets if your player is king of the court. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. One NBA prop bet profit boost per customer. Tokens expire at the start of the final NBA game each day when offered. Use token on PRA Stat Leader to receive equal share of $1 million in non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 168 hours. Additional wagering restrictions apply. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
High prices are like a money vacuum sucking your wallet dry.
No!
But don't fret, you could win our inflation vacation. $1,000 to ease your money woes. Listen for chances to win every weekday.
Explore a career as a correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career. Visit dac.nc.gov/co jobs.
When it comes to electrical needs in Asheville, trust the experts at Grigg Electric. Veteran-owned and operated, Grigg Electric is Asheville's #1 choice for electrical services. They offer a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, or industrial installations in Buncombe, Henderson, Madison, McDowell, and Yancey counties. Call Grigg Electric today, 828-232-0021. That's 828-232-0021. Serving Western North Carolina since 1976. Online at griggelectric.com.
You know, I couldn't stop talking about it to my family and friends. My knees are my trouble spot. But for me to tell them now that I'm doing so much better, they were amazed, and I've been amazed.
QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies. Yes, it is amazing how these non-surgical treatments deliver joint pain relief for patients like Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor.
Each week I just started noticing that I could sleep and not have pain. I could play pickleball. I could do a CrossFit exercise routine.
QC Kinetics revitalizes your joints so you can move again without the pain pills or invasive surgery.
You know, I'm 60 years old and I want to stay competitive as long as I can. And QC has allowed me to do that. They did me right and really made a difference in my life.
Book your free consultation with QC Kinetics today and experience the difference for yourself.
I like to go, move, move.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
now you look like a crow.
Are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, God?
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. The NFL trade deadline coming right around the corner on Election Day, November the 5th. And there's some teams need to make some moves here if you're going to solidify yourself at the top, or if you're one of those teams that's just on the periphery of the playoff position. You need to add something to make the stretch run here down at the end. So we went Cam Robinson, tackle from Jacksonville, going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Boost that offensive line. Chase Young adding a little pressure for the Buffalo Bills defense, getting him away from New Orleans. And then let's go Baltimore Ravens. What do you get a team that has damn near everything except for a wide receiver? I think it's wide receiver.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
If I had my druthers, I would love to go get a guard, because Daniel Faalele and Patrick McCarry are just not doing it for me. I can't replace them both. Mm-hmm. I can move Faalele back to the outside where he belongs because he's not a guard. He's just not. He's too big. He's too lumbering. He's just in the way.
It's a reversal of fortunes
Yeah.
for Jeremy Greene on this one. He ain't a guard. He ain't a guard. He ain't a guard.
He's not a guard.
He's a tackle.
Well, I don't know that he's anything other than really big and in the way.
He's a mountain of a man.
I believe the biggest need for the Baltimore Ravens is an outside corner.
Okay.
I know that some of you really seem to believe in Wiggins. I don't. And if you watch the Baltimore Ravens on tape, it's really obvious that teams go, find that guy. Because he doesn't look like an NFL corner at this point. He has moments, he has plays, but what do you think is going to happen when you get to a point where Pat Mahomes is on the opposite side of that field or C.J. Stroud's on the opposite side of the field? I watched Gardner Minshew do it. So that's mine. Because, all right, so receiver.
Yes.
That's where you were headed.
Yeah. I would think you'd want to add something to Zay Flowers.
And I would, in a perfect world, I would agree. The problem is that they play 12 personnel a lot.
Yeah.
They play 11 personnel a lot.
Right.
I don't think you're maximizing your value there. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say
there's not like a I'm just picking out names out of random, like a Tyler Johnson kind of a level
is that
player.
Better than Rashad Bateman? Because you got to remember, it's not just hey, we're adding another name. For them to get actual play with a team that plays 12 personnel a lot, you're going to have to take one of them off the field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't buy Nelson Aguilar, I get it. Why'd you not sign Marquez Valdez-Scantling? Because honestly, I think that's about as good as you're going to do. Tyler Johnson's bounced around this league like a ping pong ball. And I'm not sure the Rams would come off of him anyway because he fits that system quite nicely.
Right.
I'm going to say a name, and it's going to sound a little strange because he's a younger guy, but I absolutely love the fit with the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Jonathan Jones, the New England Patriots. I love the thought of that corner winding up with that team. And look, I get it. He's a younger guy. You're also going to have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe New England is greatly inclined to do that because you're already so invested in Christian Gonzalez. I have always been kind of the belief that team, the way they play defensively, generates corners. So I'm not sure that you couldn't replace him easier. The value you're going to get from Baltimore would be greater than the value it would cost to replace him. I hope I said that in a way that makes sense.
Yes.
Look, certain teams can they scout certain positions well. New England scouts cornerbacks really, really well. So as opposed to paying a guy, I'll go a year early, ship him to Baltimore, helps Baltimore now. He's probably not going to be on this team by the time we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Okay. Jonathan Jones.
You didn't seem to be sent by that.
I mean, I get what you're doing. I understand the need here. My big question with adding to the secondary is what's the timeline on the injured guys, right? Because you got like isn't Arthur Mollet supposed to come back at some point,
terrible.
And who's the? They have like 4 guys that are on IR in that secondary.
They're also
Mullen,
terrible.
Trayvon Mullen. You used to love him when he was in Las Vegas.
And then he bounced around the league like a ping pong ball and there's a reason for that.
And Jalen Armour Davis, who's
a depth guy at best.
Yeah,
I need another legit starter.
Okay.
And look, I like Brandon Stevens. I like parts of Nate Wiggins. I think that's more a platoon than hey, we just definitively have a solution here.
Mm-hmm.
I like the thought of, Marlon Humphrey has been good at times. Been really good at times. I'd like to have somebody else that augments that.
Okay. All right. We might need more time to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think Pittsburgh's the easiest team in the NFL.
Okay. Give it to me.
Cooper Kupp. I have a quarterback that is not notoriously known for making guys better. So I'm going to bring in a slot guy that I can put inside of George Pickens. I'm going to make one side of this field really difficult to scheme against. Because Because George Pickens is a guy that can win one-on-one. You leave him one-on-one, you're in trouble. So if I stack him on the outside with Cooper Kupp on the inside, where do you shield the safety? When you go to shade a safety, where does he go?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you leave Cooper Kupp one-on-one, I'm not saying he's going to play 45 snaps a game.
He doesn't need to.
It's closer to 25.
Yeah.
I don't need a lot of offense in Pittsburgh. When it's 3rd and 4 and I've got to go convert, I need something that can make it easier for Russell Wilson to do that. Because I don't think what you saw against the Jets is really replicable. You had a defense that laid down like an old dog next to the radiator.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go get a guy that I know can win. I'm not necessarily saying he is a long-term fix. That's been my problem with any Cooper Kupp trade. I got to find a team that is clawing with everything they have to stay relevant. Because this is a solution that may not even be for the rest of this year. He's hurt all the time.
Right.
He's expensive. You can get out of the money pretty conveniently. But I just kept coming back to Pittsburgh of that's the one that makes sense. Because that's the way schematically I can see how that fit works. It's the same thing Matthew Stafford did forever. I mean, for as long as I can remember, I've watched them stack Cooper Kupp with a receiver that could win on the outside, whether it was Robert Woods, just a bigger-bodied guy. Leave him one-on-one. I'm going to go throw a ball to the outside shoulder, and he's going to win because you're so worried about Cooper Kupp. Then the minute you start worrying about the outside guy, that's where Cooper starts picking you apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I can scheme that out. Some of these other teams don't make any sense. Baltimore Ravens. So you're telling me I'm going to add a receiver who is as dependent on really timely, accurate throws as any receiver that I've ever seen. And you're going to put him with a quarterback who lives in the improvisational. That's not what Cooper Kupp does. He can do it, but you're basically taking one of the quivers out of his one of the arrows out of his quiver because Lamar Jackson does not just consistently make the check down throw. That's where Cooper Kupp shines. I don't like that fit at all.
Cooper Kupp to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're talking what move could the Contenders make here to strengthen their case for the playoffs, for a division championship, possibly for a deep trip into the playoffs. Focusing on the AFC here. When we come back, we'll talk about another one of those teams we hadn't talked about just yet because I wanted to give it a little bit more time. What's Houston need to do?
You're not going to like my answer. Let's go ahead and tell you.
What do they need to do to try to take down the Kansas City Chiefs this year? You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Or dry weather expected the next several days, maybe for the rest of the month, maybe longer, as this dry streak now since Helene continues. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, near just above 70 degrees. Tonight, clear, 42. Friday, sunshine into the upper 70s. Saturday, a little cooler, but still sunny and dry, 75. Sunday, a little more cloud, but still some sun and even cooler. Highs in the low 60s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Burrito. Wendy's Breakfast Burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, bacon or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Curiosity will build us up. The Asheville Museum of Science is open for curious minds of all ages.
Play, explore, and discover dinosaur fossils, interactive space exhibits, and more. Support your community children's museum by visiting or donating today. AshevilleScience.org.
This is Matt Sorrells at United Federal Credit Union here in Asheville. We're here for our community following the devastation of Hurricane Helene. To see how we can help, you can visit unitedfcu.com/North Carolina Relief or call 888-982-1400, insured by NCUA.
Unless you've been totally off the grid, you probably know there's a big election this year. Did you know that there's so much more than the president on the ballot? This year, we are voting for members of the House and the Senate, governors and state legislatures, school boards and sheriffs, and so much more. People are making decisions that shape your future, with or without you. So make sure you vote about it. Don't sit out this election. Make a plan. Vote early, by mail, or on Election Day. Go to whenweallvote.org. Sponsored by Civic Nation.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. And so the big day is coming up. Not just the trade deadline, but Election Day is coming up November the 5th. We have everybody picking their sides. Right? Everybody's making their stands. Everybody's making their political campaigns and endorsing candidates and such. Have you seen the WWE is getting involved in this now? We have wrestlers that are picking candidates here. The other day there was a video that was released from Dave Bautista, who who he looks weird now. I mean, like after losing all that body mass, like he just, I don't know. It looks like all those former bodybuilders who just look old and decrepit.
Can I ask just a theoretical question? Because I saw Dave Bautista, I saw Mick Foley, I saw all of this. Can somebody tangibly give me an answer as to why anybody on this planet would give a damn what any of these people think?
I don't know.
Mick Foley was the one that started wrapping around my brain of, okay, so let's sound this out. The guy who made his living by getting thrown on thumbtacks and getting hit in the head repeatedly is endorsing Kamala Harris. That maths, actually. That tracks. I got
it. The guy who used to stick socks down people's throats.
The guy who I once saw get handcuffed and let Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson beat him in the head with a chair for 17 of the most uncomfortable minutes of my entire life.
That was a lot.
Yep. 2 plus 2 equals Kamala.
That math
is mathing. It makes a lot of sense to me.
You got the Bautista thing, and then the Trump response to Bautista basically calling like Trump a little girl on his little video was then to have Kane and the Undertaker sitting next to Donald Trump.
Yeah, I saw that
too. Which I'm not sure, but it looked like they were in like I don't know.
That was on the Undertaker's podcast.
Oh, it was on the Undertaker's podcast?
Did the Undertaker's podcast.
Okay. Well, I mean, we all know Kane, Glenn Jacobs. He is the mayor of Knox County and is a diehard Republican. big Trump supporter. So those two came out with their, if you really want to choose the right for America, rest in peace. Anyway. And then now you have Mankind. Maybe we should just have a battle royale. Maybe we should just split like WWE wrestlers and let them battle it out.
So you get deflated Dave Bautista and Mick Foley, and I get the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
He's like, my side's going to win in this.
Can we do it at WrestleMania? He never loses at WrestleMania. Anyway,
yeah.
My story is about Brandon Aubrey, kicker for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
He is apparently really into doing his civic duty.
Okay.
He missed practice yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What is the weirdest thing that I could tell you here as to why he missed practice?
Colonoscopy.
Nope, weirder than that. Because colonoscopy, hey, when the bill comes due, it's time for Dr. Woo-Woo. Okay?
Ooh,
that I understand. I do not understand how he did not
He
get
had to attend his niece's bar mitzvah.
Anyway, he has jury duty.
Ah, okay.
And he was selected for the jury on a felony strangulation case.
Oh.
The Cowboys tried to get him out of this, and he told them not to. This is my civic duty, and I
mean, it was. I was getting ready to say that is kind of a dream of mine. However, it was kind of a dream of mine until Jeremy missed an entire week of shows for absolutely nothing. Like, didn't even get on the actual jury.
No, I was an alternate, and let's just say my take on that case and what they came back with, wildly different.
Right. It used to be a dream of mine. Like, I always wanted to be a part of the process. I wanted to be on a jury and like a case that actually mattered.
I do not think I am anybody in the grand landscape of the world. However, if I ever get another jury notice, you can rest assured I will go down every rabbit hole to make sure you know who I am. You don't want me on this. You just go ahead and let me go. Just put me in this. Whichever one is getting the notice to show up, you put me in the group next to it because that's where I should be.
Mm-hmm. Let's get back into it here. The trade deadline in the NFL is coming up on Election Day, November the 5th. The Houston Texans are 5-2 right now. They have, one of the hottest young quarterbacks in the game, one of the hottest young coaches in the game. They've had this miraculous turnaround of, in just a couple of years becoming a contender. What's the piece that they could add in this deadline period to be able to go, okay, now we're really on the heels of the Chiefs?
Not applicable.
Nothing.
I don't want them to add anything.
Okay.
You've already added so much to this team, and it's been – I'm not going to say I've been disappointed in it. It's just been a little clunky. You need to let the guys you have gel as opposed to adding new elements to this.
Mm-hmm.
Football teams are not like baseball teams where 9 of you have 9 individual jobs that don't really have anything to do with each other. Football's a lot different than that. I don't want another voice in this room. I'm good with what I've got. I've got plenty of talent. I don't need to add anybody else. They don't have a big enough need anywhere to even risk that. Offensive line, you're not adding anybody that's better than what you have right now.
Titus Howard, how's he been doing this year?
Mid.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was looking at him and thinking, well, maybe like Taylor Moden from the Panthers could be.
Yeah, you run into money issues there. And Carolina, frankly, if you don't want Bryce Young to end up in like a doggy bag,
you better not get rid of him.
I would probably not take any of those linemen away.
I mean, I could see where that goes, but if if you had to, that was the one that came to my mind, was maybe Taylor Moton could be an upgrade at right tackle. But I mean, I can respect that. Houston doesn't need to change a thing right now because we're still just trying to get used to each other. All right, with Stephon Diggs being there, I mean, I don't feel like that's really hit its stride. Still figuring things out for Houston.
Yeah, the other problem with Taylor Moton is that he comes with a $17.5 million dead cap charge for the Panthers next year.
Yeah, that would be rough. That'd be rough to deal with.
He's not on my list anywhere, and I went, that one does make sense. Why did I? I bet I know what it is.
It's the money thing.
I bet I know what it is. Hey, I get to get my quarterback killed, and I have $17.5 million less dollars next year? Okay, yeah, that seems like that's Rochambeau, and I didn't get a turn. I just had to sit here and let you kick me in the nethers for 10 minutes.
Or worse yet, you're kicking yourself.
Oh, and it's a 5th-round pick? Yeah, we do those so good. DJ Johnson, how's that work? Oh, oops.
Not so good.
Oopsie poopsie.
All right, then we get down into the fun spots, the fun part of the AFC, where, I mean, let's just go by standings here. Currently, the 6th position would be the Indianapolis Colts.
Out.
Nothing.
I'm not making a move because I don't think it's a playoff team. And it's not like I'm all in. I got a young quarterback. I've got young pieces. I don't really have older veterans that buyers are going to be all that interested in. And I can't sell off because I am still technically in contention. I'm also not going all in on a buy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let Chris Ballard fill out this roster with draft picks. I'm not risking a draft pick. I'm not doing any of that.
How about Denver?
Denver is interesting. The answer would be a target of some kind. I just don't really know who that would be. Because that's another one. I'm just now back to a point where I'm getting back to healthy with draft capital. I don't really want to send it out. For what? I'm going to go get Deontay Johnson for half a year?
Mm-hmm.
What? So I could maybe feel good because, well, we're the 7th seed in the AFC. What happened when you got there? We got beat 107-4. Bo Nix. I don't see them as a buyer or a seller. You just kind of let it roll out. I mean, I think Sean Payton's obviously kept any heat off of him for a year.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in the netherworld to such a point that it's hard for me to say, yeah, I'd give up a 5th-round pick for Deontay Johnson.
Right. No second corner.
I don't really think it's not ideal, but I mean, between Jaquan McMillan and Riley Moss, you got enough pieces out there. I'm not wasting a draft pick. That is one thing about these instances. I don't waste a draft pick just to waste a draft pick. And
then, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, Cincinnati's tough because can I make more than one deal?
Yeah, sure.
There is a name that and once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it.
Okay.
What's the biggest problem Cincinnati has right now?
I don't know. What is it?
Well, I mean, the secondary's killed.
Mm-hmm.
Is adding one piece to the secondary really going to fix your problem? Because I don't think so. There is a player that I think I could fill in that would solve a problem they've had because you lost a guy. Losing DJ Reader has made them not as good at stopping the run, fact or fiction.
Fact.
Sebastian Joseph Day. He's in Tennessee right now doing what? Hanging out? You give me another piece to the interior right there. He doesn't take up a huge snap count, but he can come in on obvious pass rush or on obvious rushing downs. And that might keep Sheldon Rankins upright because he has really struggled to do that.
Okay. So there's move one.
I would love to have a pass rusher. But where's it going to come from?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to give up the draft capital to go get Chase Young? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I've got to be able to do something. And I think with Rankins and B.J. Hill and Sebastian Joseph Day, you can stop the run, which would at least give your corners the opportunity of, I don't have to come up and support the run too, which makes you susceptible to double moves. The safeties are worried about it. You're just dealing with the back half. Because linebackers are fine. I think they're pretty good at linebacker.
Okay.
But none of them trust the ability to get a guy down with push at the first level. And so now all of your back seven are worried about coming up to support the run, and it leaves you so susceptible. So I will fix that, and you know what? If I have to get into shootouts, at least you're not going to bleed the clock on.
Could you get one of those from Tennessee? in the Sebastian Joseph Day trade? Could you get 2 of them? Could you get
Arden Key,
Harold Landry, or is
Harold Landry?
Are they?
Linebacker.
I was going to say, are they at the point where they would be interested in listening to an offer for either one of those edge guys?
I don't think any of it actually benefits you. I really don't. You need Sam Hubbard to play better.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know. Miles Murphy. I mean, and that's one of the things that when I look at this, look how invested they are in edge rusher. Okay, so now you're telling me I'll throw another dart at that board, and I'm going to give up draft capital to do it? After I've got a slew of guys that I used high-end draft capital on that aren't doing squat, including one of the guys that I would be replacing in this.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough for me.
Okay. All right.
I need to replace what I lost in the offseason to get me back to copacetic.
I think we got 2 more quote-unquote contenders here to get through. The Los Angeles Chargers.
Chargers need a receiver. I don't care who it is. Mike Williams is the one that makes the most sense. Listen, that's the one I penciled into the Chargers of, hey, I think he's familiar with the area. I think he would know how to get to the stadium. But you have him and DJ Chark, that at least gives you 2 guys over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fit for him with the Chargers with Herbert because they have a relationship. I get it. The offensive scheme is different. The playbook's different. There's going to be some getting used to each other. But Herbert and Williams still have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're just going in cold. There's a reason that these guys know Aaron Rodgers wanted his guys. That's because I know you. You and I see an offense the exact same way. So if you're running an option route, I know exactly what you're thinking. And there's a merit to that. I also don't trust DJ Chark to stay healthy.
Yeah. Trusting Mike Williams to stay healthy could be a fool's errand as well.
Sadly enough, I trust Mike Williams to stay healthy at this point better than DJ Chark.
Yeah, but the New York Jets, I mean, they now with Devontae Adams, they do have a bevy of receivers.
Yes.
So they could afford to give up Mike Williams since that really hasn't worked just yet and put him back with the Chargers.
And they need to get Malachi Corley into a point where he's actually helping the team and not standing on the sideline in a hoodie.
Mm-hmm. Let's go Miami Dolphins, last one.
I'm not giving up draft capital with Miami.
Nothing.
If I'm Miami, I'm a seller, not a buyer. Some of these older contracts that are going to come off, I'm looking at Tua going, this. I know I was the one that said I'm not a doctor. I'm not making this decision for him. And I get that. This scenario is so much different now than it was, 5 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
You're 2-4 now looking around going, what are we playing for? Because that schedule's evil. We're not better than any of those teams. And so we're going to trot Tua out there just to make us feel better? I'm good.
Yeah.
There is one. They're not a contender as of right now, but they are all in.
Okay.
It's the New York Jets.
I didn't even think about them. I thought you just made your move.
Can you name me the safeties that are going to start for that team this week?
I cannot.
Because Chuck Clark's on IR for the 2nd year in a row. Ashton Davis went out hurt. Tony Adams is hurt. As of right now, their 2 safeties would be Jalen Mills and Isaiah Oliver. Does that strike you as strange? Because it should. They're both corners. Those are both corners.
Okay.
That are going to start. So that is where I would Buda Baker. You have a huge problem right now that you can't stop the run. I don't think it comes from the defensive line because you're already cycling all these guys out. I also think Hassan Reddick helps that a little bit because Will McDonald is a really easy guy to target when you start running. So I think you're going to see more of Reddick and Clemens on early downs. But having Buda Baker coming downhill as the I'm not going to say the box safety because that's not how that defense works. But having that player, you're going to have to overpay for him. I'm well aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I'm looking at a problem that you already had that's going to be compounded by we're playing 5 corners. That's not going to work out well. I've also seen Jalen Mills play safety. That doesn't tend to work out well.
Right.
So I need somebody that I can count on.
So what's an overpay for Buda Baker?
Probably a 3rd-round pick, if I had to be honest.
That's kind of what I was thinking in my mind because that fits the bill.
Because Arizona doesn't necessarily want to trade him.
No. He's a franchise guy, right? You don't.
I've never agreed that he's a franchise guy. I don't think he's a franchise guy on a team that didn't have a franchise guy.
Yes. That's what I meant.
That's like Terrifier 3 being the best movie at the box office. Well, it's the number one this week. Yeah, because it was competing with Joker, Folie à Deux, and some weird movie about Donald Trump. Yeah, you're right. It was number one. It wasn't exactly competing with anything that felt like a number one.
Mm-hmm.
But you would certainly have to overpay.
Yeah.
But if you're the Jets, what does it matter? If you're Joe Douglas, you're looking at draft picks, hey, guess what? If we lose New England this weekend and this season just falls apart and we're playing meaningless games in December, it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be the assistant GM for the Baltimore Ravens in a year.
He is the NFL equivalent of B. Rabbit. He's only got one shot at this thing. And he hopes he doesn't puke on himself while he's trying to make it happen. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. The NFC Contenders, a few of those need to make some moves. We'll discuss that after the break.
Asheville Smiles has been featured in national publications like Good Housekeeping and Woman's Day. And check out this 5-star Google review. My dental experience was wonderful. I cannot say enough about Dr. Merrill and her amazing team at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. Dr. Merrill took time to explain everything. She made me feel relaxed and confident that I was in good hands. I apologize for those tears at your office. Those were tears of joy. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Dr. Merrill, for the hope to get my smile back. Check out Asheville Smiles online at AshevilleSmiles.com.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, we get set for a neighborhood rivalry. It's T.C. Robertson at A.C. Reynolds. The Rockets look to stay undefeated in conference play, and T.C. Robertson looks to bounce back off of a tough loss to Irwin. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show is at 6:30 with a kick at 7. On ESPN 1400 and TuscolaRadio.com, the Mountaineers host Smoky Mountain. Chris Kelly and the gang will have the Mountaineer Countdown to Kickoff show starting at 7. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where you can be with iHeartMedia. We talk to our listeners everywhere, from the car to the gym to the kitchen. Your next customer is listening. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today by calling 844-GET-MY-AD. That's 844-GET-MY-AD.
This football season, whether you're on the field chasing victory or cheering from the stands, Western Carolina orthopedic specialists are here to keep you in the game. From sports injuries to routine care, our team of experts delivers top-notch orthopedic and sports medicine care so you can stay strong all season long. Play hard. We've got your back. Western Carolina orthopedic specialists. Visit us online or call 828-452-4131. That's 828-452-4131.
Going to big box retailers for batteries? Flag on the play. Locally owned Rainy Battery has the lowest prices on all your battery needs. Don't fumble when you can find everything from watch batteries to batteries for cars, RVs, trucks, golf carts, and more at Rainy Battery. Get brands you know and trust like AC Delco, Motorcraft for the lowest prices, plus custom battery cables made in-house. Go to RainyBattery.com or stop in today for a quote. That's RainyBattery.com.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. Just check out some of their Google reviews. One user writes, I'd been avoiding visiting the dentist for years due to poor experiences in the past. I had quite a few visits and procedures at Summit in the last year, and each and every one was made comfortable by the staff that work there. They're all kind and compassionate and take extra time to make sure your comfort level is right where it should be. Summit Dental in Asheville. Call them today, 828-277-6868 or online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at ParksFordHendersonville.com. That's ParksFordHendersonville.com.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Or dry weather expected the next several days, maybe for the rest of the month, maybe longer, as this dry streak now since Helene continues. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, near just above 70 degrees. Tonight, clear, 42. Friday, sunshine into the upper 70s. Saturday, a little cooler, but still sunny and dry, 75. Sunday, a little more cloud, but still some sun and even cooler. Highs in the low 60s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by KFC. Introducing new KFC Original Recipe Tenders, made with their secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. These tenders are so flavorful, they'll start a chicken tenders battle. Get 3 tenders, fries, and new comeback sauce for just $5, only at KFC.
If you and your friends and family were impacted by the recent disaster and are in one of the communities approved for individual assistance from FEMA, you can apply for disaster assistance. Go to disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362.
Is joint pain, soreness, and achiness getting in the way of your best life? Football legend Emmitt Smith refuses to back down to pain. That's why he's a huge advocate for QC Kinetics and their natural approach to getting you relief.
Look, we get one trip around. So I wouldn't ever let pain stop me from hanging out with my race team, traveling with my family, or golfing with my friends.
Emmett's got it right. And QC Kinetics uses regenerative medicine to relieve that never-ending pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. And the best news, there's nothing foreign being introduced into your body. Just your own body's natural healing properties. No surgery or no downtime.
If pain's holding you back, maybe it's tennis, pickleball, running, hiking, or spending time with special people in your life, what are you waiting for? This is precious time. Get out there and get over to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225C Bay Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Dollar. That's dollar. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls Studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. Your thoughts in on what your team needs to do before the trade deadline. November the 5th is the day. And AFC teams, we had several that, maybe you shouldn't make a move, right? You're not
and
really,
we will have those.
Yeah, you're not really a contender in the eyes of the Sportsocracy here. We're talking about Denver and Indianapolis and the Miami Dolphins. It just wouldn't make sense for you to try to give up capital to make a move to climb that big of a mountain.
The only two that are in that boat are the Cincinnati Bengals and the Jets because, well, your pot committed on trying to make a run.
Yes.
So it's already a spent cost. Why not go a little further? Red Sea is a little angry about Buda Baker. I mean, I hate to break it to you, safeties in this league aren't worth more than a third. That's just where it is. That's it. I mean, he's been talked about with Minnesota, with Baltimore, with the Jets. That's what you would get. Because you got to understand, I inherit the contract. I probably inherit a good amount of the money. That's the way it goes. I'm not saying Arizona would necessarily do it. That's the move that you need to be pursuing. That's all we're saying here.
Yes. The moves that we did have prognosticated here, possible moves. Sebastian Joseph Day going from Tennessee to Cincinnati. Buda Baker going from Arizona to the New York Jets. The New York Jets sending Mike Williams back to L.A. because, well, that hasn't worked out.
Mike Williams is going somewhere, and to me it's either the Steelers or the Chargers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, Cooper Kupp could be the move that puts them closer with Baltimore up there at the top of the division.
Pittsburgh's been on every receiver that's been in the market. They called on all of them.
As they should. Baltimore, rather than going with another weapon, cornerback from the New England Patriots, Jonathan Jones. Chase Young from New Orleans to the Buffalo Bills to help out the edge rush there. And the Kansas City Chiefs with Cam Robinson, the tackle from Jacksonville.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Before we get into the NFC, we have a super chat.
Okay. Super chat time. Do. Gotta hit the button.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Matt asked, kind of off topic, but should the NFL ban the fake surrender play that Pat Mahomes ran against San Francisco? Basically, what he did is he pulled up like he was going to slide, and he didn't. I have said that for years. If you're going to say that we can't hit a guy in any part of the slide, then the minute you slow down, you're down. Because you can't ask me to leap, then you decide to slide, and I contact you, and that's on me.
Right.
And I will go ahead and tell you, the next time that he goes to slide, you mark my words, he's going to get his head separated from his shoulders.
You pull that once, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree on the next one, and I'm going to take my chances with the refs. And then I'm going to let my coach handle that.
Yep.
Right. I'm going to let coach come out on the field when they throw that flag and go, wait a minute, you let him burn us on the last one.
When you see coaches talking to officials before games, that's what they're doing. Is, hey, this is what we saw on tape, so just know we don't believe that he's going to slide. So you're going to have to give me a little bit of leeway. I mean, you saw the tape too. Officials watch tape too. So they know that. They know that's a little weapon in your bag now. So there's a reason you don't do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the biggest example of it, I think, recently or in my recent memory was Kenny Pickett. Remember when he was at Pittsburgh and he rolled off that big 70-yard touchdown run because, 30 yards into the run, he stopped, acted like he was going to slide, and then everybody quit on the play. And after that, I can remember having this discussion of, you're not going to do that in the NFL, I guarantee it.
And if you recall, he got dusted not long after that.
He did, because that's what you get. Get what you get, and you don't pitch a fit.
Matt said he thought that was the most disgusting play he had seen all year. Look, I get where you're coming from. It's Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes manipulating officials. If you're going to baby quarterbacks, then don't be shocked when I run something like that. Now, where I find that to be a little not forward-thinking is, okay, now every team you play has seen that, and they are really cautious of Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
I would just tell him, how about we don't run and if you're going to run, the first second you see the wrong color jersey, you get down. I mean, sliding into home, last play of the World Series kind of slide of this is as aggressive as it gets, and my head is going to hit the ground.
The problem we have with this is who's doing it. Right. Patrick Mahomes tries that fake slide again, and somebody lights him up. What kind of circus does that create? Because here you get into the Tom Brady thing again of now this is the new Tom Brady, and how are we going to have to change the rules when Patrick Mahomes gets concussed because we have to protect the flag bearer or the shield bearers.
That's where you get into the all right, that's why we don't do this.
Yeah, exactly. All right, NFC teams, NFC contenders that need to make a move here. Again, this is trade deadlines coming up. This is what do the contenders need? Where could they get it from? And mostly they're getting it from either teams that have, a lot of choices at the position, like the New York Jets giving up Mike Williams. They have too many receivers now with Devontae Adams added into it. So that makes sense. And then the players also coming from teams that are out of it. So in the NFC, the ones that we eliminated at the top of the program here were the New Orleans Saints, the Carolina Panthers, the New York Giants. Is that it?
Yes.
That was the Rams. You added the Rams in there as a team that's out of it.
Now, I will also throw the caveat of there are a few teams that I think are – it's not that they're so far away. It's just I'm already kind of pot committed. The Arizona Cardinals, I don't have as a buyer.
Right.
I don't think they are a buy.
No.
Everybody else, it feels like if a move made sense, you could do it. Because the NFC's so wide open.
Mm-hmm.
But I figure we start with the team that's at the top of the heap.
No doubt. The easiest one, in my opinion, the Detroit Lions.
I make 2 calls.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland Browns.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. I'm getting Myles Garrett.
The first one of you that gives me an offer that makes any kind of sense, and I don't care if it involves – I know it's going to involve a first-round pick. It's probably going to involve 2 first-round picks. I don't care.
Whatever it takes to give me that other pass rusher.
Which one would you prefer?
Personally, I would prefer Myles.
I would too. I think he fits into that defense like a glove.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an older guy. I mean, Myles, it doesn't feel like it because he was in one of those weird drafts. He's still only 28 years old. He'll be 29 right after Christmas.
That's insane. Just because he's already there. Like, he's already reached that level where he is one of the greats.
Oh, he's first ballot Hall of Famer to me.
No doubt about it. And the fact that he's only 28 is quite interesting. I mean, we've already thought, ever since Aiden Hutchinson went down, everybody had the feeling that, okay, well, that means Detroit's got to go get a edge rusher. These are the 2 that make the most sense. And then also think about, I'll give you whatever you want to pair him with Aiden Hutchinson next year.
I don't care what it costs. Because if you're the Lions, you got to look around and go, this is the most winnable the NFC's ever been. San Francisco 49ers are down, the Eagles are down, the Cowboys are down. Yes. We are the cream of the crop here. This is our conference to lose. But I got to have somebody that can win. And it sets us up for the long haul. You know, this is a last ride with Ben Johnson because he ain't I can't imagine he's not a head coach in the league next year.
Mm-hmm.
I got to have that guy.
I would probably say Aaron, too. Aaron Glenn. He'll probably be gone, too.
I don't know.
Really?
I could see coming back. Ben Johnson, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, teams are going to throw Brinks trucks at him. And even then, with Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, this is a guy you can put on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson for the long haul. You've got all these guys that you've already extended for the long haul. So you basically give yourself a 4 to 5 year window that you should be the best team in the NFC.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with the current number 2 seed in the playoffs, the Washington Commanders.
That is insanity to me.
It is crazy. They're 5-2. They'd be the 2 seed if the playoffs started today.
I feel like I was higher on Washington than anybody, and even I sit here and look at Washington and go, really? If you had to add a piece, what is it? I'm just curious if we're on the same page here.
Corner.
I don't agree with you, but give me the explanation.
Well, I mean, that secondary is not very good.
No.
And that seems, I mean, you've been able to outscore opponents to this point, except for twice, and that's by far more than anybody could have expected you to do. But if I really want to be a contender and I really want to give this thing a shot, I need to find a corner that I can add to this team and possibly keep him around for a while. Because we're just starting this thing. But does that guy exist?
He doesn't. I mean, look, name me the guy. But I mean, look, you have invested a lot of capital here. Emmanuel Forbes is an afterthought, basically, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That was a first-round pick. You took him over Christian Gonzalez. Benjamin St. Juste was a second-day pick, early third-day pick. I can't remember which one. Mike Sanderstrill, you just took in the second round. You've invested a lot. That ain't where I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going pass rusher. Zadarius Smith. Look how young that entire defensive, everybody that really plays, look how young they are. I'm going to give you a vet because that's what I need. I need the guy that you're the point guy.
Mm-hmm.
You are the leader of this defense. And I think for a year, while these guys develop, he can be that. And yes, there is a possibility that you would trade Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. Cleveland is about to reset this bad boy to the studs.
Right.
And I actually believe that's going to happen. I mean, you got to understand how much draft capital they gave up with Deshaun Watson, and they're looking around going, what happened?
All right, so Washington goes with Zadarius Smith, gives them a veteran presence on the defense, adding to their pass rush. Let's go.
I just don't want to add another young guy to Washington. I think as young as you – I mean, have you really dug into how young this team actually is?
I mean, you just rattled off like 5 guys who were draft picks in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I mean, then you look at the starters. The old hats on this defense are Clelin Ferrell, who's 27, Frankie Louvu, who just turned 28 days ago. Bobby Wagner's an older hat.
Right.
But other than that, you're looking at Quan Martin, who's in his second year. Jerzon Newton, who's a rookie. Fedarian Mathis, who's in his second year. You've got Deron Payne, but Jonathan Allen's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to have a more veteran guy like Zadarius Smith.
Okay. Washington Commanders, they are currently sitting as the number 2 seed in the NFC playoffs. We'll continue what NFC contenders need to make a move before the trade deadline and what realistic move could they pull off. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Do you need help recovering from the recent disaster? FEMA may be able to help, but you have to apply. In addition to the money for food, water, and medicine, you may be able to receive support for housing, home repairs, business supplies, school supplies, and more. If you are in a county approved for FEMA individual assistance, go to disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362. Apply for disaster assistance today.
Storm Pro Solution is here to help you in your time of need, providing top roofing and water damage restoration services, tree removals, and storm damage assessments. Call Storm Pro Solution at 828-318-7096.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Hey, what's going on? This is Barry from the band Shinedown. We're heating things up with the release of our third hot sauce, Attention, Mango Habanero. The really hot part is that for every bottle of sauce you buy, a portion of the proceeds will be donated to Musicians on Call. Musicians on Call brings live music directly to patients, families, and caregivers in hospitals across the country. Get your hands on our new hot sauce by visiting shinedown.com/tasteofmadness and help us deliver the healing power of music with Musicians on Call. We really appreciate it.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is the Sportsocracy NFL trade deadline, just days away. November the 5th. Oh, my goodness. That's such a momentous day. It's Guy Fawkes Day. You don't even know who Guy Fawkes is?
You know. Is he related to Red Fox?
Never mind.
Did he have a catchphrase too?
He did.
Dummy.
Remember the 5th of November? You never heard that tale?
Do you remember? No, that's not the one.
No, that's the 21st night of September.
Oh,
yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. Anyhow, it is a big day with the trade deadline coming up on November the 5th. And what move do the Contenders need to make to, keep contending? Detroit Lions with Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns. That could happen. Zadarius Smith, the edge rusher, going to the Washington Commanders.
And don't leave out Max Crosby. I don't really have it's one or the other.
Was that an either or?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to call you both. I'm going to tell you both that I called the other one. I'm going to have a gigantic trade package for one of the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
First one to say yes wins. Here we go.
Who wants to win a title? Come get one.
Who needs draft picks? Because you both suck
All right,
awful.
so since that is an either or, do those guys show up again at some point?
They don't, because I think that's the only team that's so all in that they would go, I'll give you 2 first-round picks for this first team all-pro guy.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to the team playing tonight, the Minnesota Vikings. Or the contender playing tonight. I know the Rams are also playing tonight.
I was
but
about to
count.
say, yeah, they're not one of them things.
What?
They're not one. They're not on this list.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they are on this list with
right.
guys going that way, not coming this way.
Yes.
If you had to pick a position of most need for the Minnesota Vikings, what is it? I look at nothing on the offense because I think you're getting back everything you need in T.J. Hawkins.
I would tend to agree with that.
I think they have one great big problem.
On the defensive side, their big problem is a defensive end?
I would go defensive tackle.
Okay.
I need somebody that can get pass rush up the middle. I'm going to say a name, and when I say it, you're never going to be able to unhear it.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Ooh. Okay.
And I know that's not a name that Tennessee really wants to part with. I'll make it worth your while.
What could the Minnesota Vikings give?
I don't know what the trade comp on him would be. And I don't say that very often. But to me, he's right in that boat of, okay, it's going to be expensive because you just signed a new deal. And the dead cap hit's going to be pretty extensive. But if I come off a first-round pick, and I do think he's worth that.
Mm-hmm.
How old is Jeffrey Simmons? I know we did this one time before, but it just every time I see this number, it blows my mind.
27?
He is 27 years old.
Yeah.
That, to me, is just a piece I can build around for a long, long time. And the way they play defense, and I'm sending guys, and I've got that walk-up, and that's a guy that makes it a lot easier to do that.
Yep. It makes it more enticing for your next coach that comes in to coach the defense.
Yeah, Brian. Oh, you don't think Brian Flores is going to be around?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's getting a head coach.
You don't think so? Nobody's going to jump out on that after?
It's real damning when you sue the league.
I get it, but that was, 3 years ago? And now he's turned the Minnesota Vikings into, for the first 6 games of this year, pretty much a defensive juggernaut.
And I would not call them a defensive juggernaut. I think that's a lot of smoke and mirrors, but it's working.
I was going to say, whatever they're doing, it's working. And if he can turn around that defense, then
you know what? At this point, Brian Flores reminds me of Wade Phillips.
Oh, that's not a bad comparison.
You could be as good of a defense coordinator as you want to be.
Yeah.
I can't touch you as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
You were so bad with the Dolphins. Then you sued the league, and now you just become almost – it's great. Do your thing. And I'm not telling you he's not going to get interviews.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe an owner of an NFL franchise is going to go, yep, that's who I'm trusting my franchise to. Especially not after what Tua Tagovailoa said about him.
Oh, that he sucked all his confidence out and told him he sucked every day.
Awesome. So I'm going to go draft a high-end quarterback, franchise quarterback, and I'm going to trust him to Brian Flores. Nope, don't think I will.
I don't know. It feels like a very Las Vegas Raider-y thing to do.
Do you know what a Rango movie is?
Yes, Rango. It was a pretty good movie.
Ramonzo Berry in the chat said, "I talk like Rattlesnake Jake" from the Rango movie.
I get to see that.
That's a lot nicer than what I usually get. Slightly more unhinged Alex Jones.
Okay. He sounds like the rattlesnake from Rango. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look up what that is in the break.
Rango was an animated movie.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, it was about a lizard who got lost in the desert. He was like a pet, and then there was a car crash, and he got stranded in the desert, and then he, it was a pretty funny movie. Johnny Depp did the voice. I'm trying to remember who did the voice for the snake.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nighy.
Nighy,
yeah.
Not Bill Nye the Science Guy.
No. The guy who did Davy Jones, octopus face from the the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Yeah.
That dude's got a great voice. So
he did, he was a Southern outlaw, and he did kind of have that gravelly Southern accent. Yeah, okay. I never thought about it before. That's actually one of my favorite movies when the kids were little. We'd love to watch Rango. So yeah, I can see it.
I take that as a badge of honor.
I'm gonna go points for Ramonzo. I like that name.
He's been around for a while.
Okay,
but it's a newer seeing him in the chat. Always good to see newer names in the chat.
Yes, indeed. NFC teams, NFC contenders that need to make a move. Let's just go ahead and knock out all of the NFC North here.
Oh, by the way, Jeffrey Simmons can play end next to Harrison Phillips on rundowns. That's why I like that one so much.
That makes sense. Let's go Green Bay Packers.
Do you have one?
I really don't. At this point, I'm not sure what you could add to that team.
I feel like you're muddy in the waters.
Yeah, I have
because you've got so many guys that you're going to have to re-sign. It would have to be a 1-year rental for it to make any sense to me.
As much as I, doubt Green Bay, which is going out, which is waning by the week. The more I watch Jeff Hafley's defense, just rule the turnover game, I'm less anxious about what Green Bay could be.
Well, and they have a new voice in that defensive room too. See that?
Robert
Saleh. That's a wise move. It was also insanely predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Matt LaFleur is the best man in his wedding. So
it's one of his besties.
Who's shocked that that's where he went? I mean, I like it.
So Green Bay is a not applicable.
I don't see one that makes sense. They have positions that they could use, but I don't want to do anything. I don't want to give up trade or draft capital because there's no telling how many of these guys I'm going to lose over time.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have a linebacker. I just don't know who that would be. That's one position that I'm just not seeing a lot of guys that I go, hey, there's the one. Am I going to go get Kenneth Murray from the Titans? I don't think they're paying the dead cap on that.
No.
Which is not crazy.
And how many Titans are we going to move here? I mean, do we really think that Amy Adams Strunk is just ready to burn it to the ground? Because I think we've already had 4 of their players gone to other teams in these scenarios. I don't think Tennessee's in that big of a teardown. Let's go with the number 3 seed currently, the Seattle Seahawks.
You look at them in a way that I don't.
What do you mean by that?
I like the young nucleus there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can I say Matthew Stafford? Is that allowed? I mean, I don't think you would do it.
You wouldn't. I mean, the Rams definitely wouldn't do it. They're not giving you Matthew Stafford in the division.
I just don't see giving up high-end draft capital as long as Geno Smith's your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be hoarding draft capital on the off chance that there's a quarterback I fall in love with that I can move up to go get in April. I don't want to give that up.
Yeah.
I think this team drafts really, really well. Because I like the Seahawks 2-53. It's that one that I really don't.
Well, they just made the move for Ernest Jones.
And that would have been my answer.
So that's one Ram coming in to help try to save the day here.
By the way, we didn't give you this little trinket of information, but the reason that we amped this up is because Ernest Jones was on my list of doing this. Not to the Seahawks. I actually like it better for the Seahawks than who I had him with. And we went, well, I guess we need to get this out of the way since they're deciding to make trades 2 weeks before the deadline.
Mm-hmm. So I look at Seattle and think maybe a tight end, but at that point, you're not giving up anything major for a tight end.
I mean, who's the tight end that you think would be available? David Njoku?
Possibly. He'd be an upgrade over Fant.
I don't know what
I would
deal
think.
Like. If the deal's not incredibly onerous to move, that'll probably be my answer.
Evan Ingram from Jacksonville.
See, to me, that's more of the same what you already have.
Yeah, but he's better, isn't he? Isn't he better than Noah Fant?
He's
maybe not athletically, but
athletically, he's way better than Noah Fant.
Okay.
Noah's shorter. See, the problem with David Njoku, you got $30 million in dead cap.
Yeah.
If I'm Cleveland, I've already got a dead cap hit that's $74 million a year.
I'm not.
He's actually still on the roster. I'm just calling it a dead cap hit.
Right. I don't really see any other real options in that realm for them.
Evan Ingram's a glorified slot receiver, which is what Noah Fant is, and that creates a problem.
Mm-hmm. So are we?
And I don't think the Chargers are going to give you Will Dissly back.
So we're just going not applicable for
That's what I would say with Seattle.
Seattle Seahawks.
Patrick Holt, I feel like he deserves points. He welcomed Ramonzo into the chat. Also said, I don't watch movies and I don't get any movie reference.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wrong.
No.
But he can tell you how many passing yards Bobby A. Bear had in his second season. It's 498.
Did you look that up already? Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, I did. I didn't know that off the top of my head. I did remember he got hurt in his second year, though.
Right. All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll be right back.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
More dry weather expected the next several days, maybe for the rest of the month, maybe longer, as this dry streak now since Helene continues. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, near just above 70 degrees. Tonight, clear, 42. Friday, sunshine into the upper 70s. Saturday, a little cooler, but still sunny and dry, 75. Sunday, a little more cloud, but still some sun and even cooler. Highs in the low 60s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by GeneratorFranchise.com. Millions protect their homes from power outages with Generac home standby generators. Would you like to be part of this lucrative industry? Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer, has limited franchise opportunities in your area. Learn more at GeneratorFranchise.com.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. One user writes on their Google review, fantastic dental practice. Everyone I've come into contact with at Summit Dental has been very helpful and professional. The administrative front desk staff go out of their way to help with things that they don't have to do. Dr. Tompkins and Kim have been working on me recently, and they have been great about taking the time to explain everything they're doing to make it more comfortable for me. Summit Dental in Asheville. Call them today, 828-277-6868, or online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
Sometimes where a crime took place leads you to answer why the crime happened in the first place. Hi, I'm Sloan Glass, host of the new true crime podcast, American Homicide. In this series, we'll examine some of the country's most infamous and mysterious murders and learn how the location of the crime becomes a character in the story. Listen to American Homicide on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search American Homicide and start listening.
The 2024 general election is right around the corner, and News Radio 570 WWNC is covering every angle of it for you. From the local elections right here in Western North Carolina to the state offices in Raleigh, and of course, the race for the White House. News Radio 570 WWNC is your official election information station.
The Sportsocracy.
Told you.
He did make me think.
Don't do it.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
Don't do it unless you want to hear about how I feel.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Best just put that on conversation probation and leave it alone.
On ESPN Asheville.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls,
See you later, Dad.
all the ingredients for family.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. So just trying to get that bite of pizza down.
Pie Square.
Oh, so good.
You got this locked up pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Best Detroit pizza in Asheville.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Detroit is the Detroit-style pizza. I mean, look, in the Pizza Wars, there are a lot of opinions. There is Detroit-style pizza as the winner, and then there's all of you that are wrong. Okay? And that comes from a guy that's been to New York probably 25 times.
Mm-hmm.
I love New York-style pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago is a lasagna with a crust, which is good. Don't get me wrong. It's good, too. It's also, you eat one piece of it and go, well, I'm done. Like, today's over. I have to go home and go to bed now because I ate a pot pie of pizza for lunch.
I can't wait for the. We've got the buddies still in the freezer.
That's tomorrow. We're gonna.
Are you planning for to bring an air fryer, or do I need to?
Air fryer.
I have one too. So I was thinking, like, between the two of us, one of us needs to try to remember to bring an air fryer.
Yours is
tomorrow.
your air fryer is probably bigger than mine. You have children.
It's pretty sizable.
Amy and I just have one that's for like 2 people. It's got the little basket.
Yeah, that might take some time to heat up an entire pizza. Just
one
brick
piece
by
at a
brick.
time. That's what mine can do.
It is very good though, and hats off to the guys down at Pie Squared. They brought the pies up yesterday here to the Radio Ranch. The guy went and heard Mark talking on the hurricane coverage about how he could not find a real, authentic, good Cuban sandwich in this town. And so the guy went and got all of the ingredients. Like, I don't think they sell them there, but he went and got like the right bread, the kind of pickles, all of the things that he needed.
This.
Yeah, and he made Mark just here you go. I heard you say you wanted one. I tried my best. Here's all the things, and Mark said it was one of the best things he had ever eaten. So the good dude went above and beyond.
Support this man.
Absolutely.
And this business.
Absolutely. Down on Hendersonville Road in Fletcher. That's the one that I always pass. I think he said there's one in Hendersonville too, but I'm not positive about that. But I do know down on Hendersonville Road in Fletcher, that place is phenomenal. Pie Squared. You should check it out if you're into pizza things. Somebody who used to really be into pizza things, but is trying to be a good boy now, And
I'm not trying to be a good boy. I'm trying to be a bad boy.
and
1972, Haywood Road in Hendersonville, 2615 Hendersonville Road in Arden.
there you go. So there's one right before you get to Fletcher.
And now I want more of it.
Another one in Hendersonville. The guy I'm talking about here that used to be into pizza things and now he's trying to be a good boy and might have to change his name at some point. Although as somebody, who got his name because he was a fat man, I lost a bunch of weight, never changed it. Jelly Roll probably won't do the same. But did you see he hit the mark? He hit 100 pounds of weight loss in his journey here. So congratulations to him. He says, look, next year, you're not going to know who I am. He said, I am going to spend the next 6 to 8 months under a pile of weights. He's getting in the gym. He's going to bulk up. And then Jelly Roll becomes Slim Jim? I don't know. But I thought what was funny was the things, the tips and tricks. You've heard me talk about it with PhD weight loss and stuff, the things that you can do to kind of keep yourself satisfied, serve that sweet tooth a little bit, but still have a healthier snack. He says he starts out every show, every pre-show snack is the same when he's on tour. He eats a banana. Which Jeremy's out on the banana part.
Gross.
But he has a banana served with Manuka honey, stevia, and some dark chocolate shavings to help, quote-unquote, fuel him before all of his shows.
His snack has 4 things that I don't like.
After the show, he has pretty much the same meal every time. Nashville hot chicken.
Oh, that's good. Hattie B's, you're headed to Nashville.
I'm gonna have some of that
Hattie B's
this weekend.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Nashville hot chicken, but he takes away the oil and the batter.
Air fries it?
He air fries it. He air fries the chicken, and then he has French fries with it. But he boils the French fry. Oh, he doesn't. I'm sure his chefs do. Boils the French fries in bone broth, ups the protein in it, and then he air fries them. And says it gives it that nice little crunch. So there you go. I mean, if you're looking to drop some pounds, that sounds like a pretty good idea to me. Some breadless Nashville hot chicken with some bone broth fries. Ooh, I'm sorry.
I'm just glad you didn't. I was afraid that this was a pizza-related story, and you were going to say that Jelly Roll lost weight by eating the one pizza that's not a pizza, which is thin crust garbage. Oh, sweet. I got a saltine cracker with some pizza sauce on it.
Yep.
Stop that. I need crust, I need bread, or it's not pizza. I got a thin crust pizza the other day. I was so angry. I opened that box and I went, well, that's crap. That's not even food. That's a saltine cracker with a pepperoni on it.
It's the best.
You do food wrong. My story, and when I tell this story, it's going to sound like crimes, but I am a gullible man. I don't think where this happened that what I'm going to say is a crime. This is also one of those stories where I tell it, and every little bit of tidbit of information I give sounds like it was a really bad Mad Lib. I'm just going to read this verbatim. A man in Canada is in trouble after crashing a Zamboni while under the influence of alcohol.
Yeah.
And he was dressed as a kangaroo.
Okay.
This is from CTV News. They got the in-rink camera. Guy goes to work. Apparently this guy did work there. He's a 25-year-old man. He goes to work. For some reason, he is wearing a kangaroo costume. You see him walking towards the Zamboni. Somebody behind him is talking to him. You cannot hear the conversation. You can hear it's happening, but you can't hear it word for word. The man who's wearing a kangaroo hat on his head, it's like a hoodie with little ears on it.
Yeah.
He hops on the Zamboni, and he appears to be doing just fine as he resurfaces the ice on one side until he got to the boards. And you hear a very loud crash followed by an excrement.
Falafel.
He said the excrement word, not the falafel.
All right.
Then about 8 minutes pass, and here come the police. So the way I saw this is you had a guy that showed up. I'm going to assume he was is Halloween in Canada on a different day?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it is either. Maybe he went to an early Halloween party. Maybe he's a furry. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for why.
Is the hockey team are they the Kangaroos?
Saul's hockey. I don't know anything
could
about
there
it.
possibly have been, I don't know.
What, he's moonlighting as the mascot?
No, the mascot costume could have been laying around and he gathered it, or it could be the costume of a sponsor or something. You know, like at the Asheville tourist games, right? They have the little bee from I think it's like Park Ridge Hospital or something. They have like a little bee. Well, I mean, that costume stays there. They don't bring it in every day. So, like, the bee costume would just be hanging out in the corner, and the guy goes, I want to be a bee today.
All right, so your theory is that this guy just shows up chugging maple bourbon and decides,
he got drunk before he went to work.
I'm feeling a little rooey today. I think I'm going to be a roo. Throws on the old Joey costume and just hops along.
Could be.
Is that not the most Canadian thing you've ever heard in your life? Like, if you got maple syrup in that somewhere, that's the definition of Canada. Man crashed his Zamboni, hammered, dressed as a kangaroo. If he was dressed as a moose, I swear to you, they would tell this as a children's story.
Yes, no doubt about it. It would be a fairy tale. Just so we can.
Can you imagine that guy sitting in jail in the kangaroo costume? Like, he's sitting in the drunk tank, sobered up. Like, I missed it by that much. This was such a good idea until it wasn't a good idea.
Just to clear up any confusion that Jeremy might have caused there, Canada does celebrate Halloween, and it is on the same day. I had to do the search because I don't know. I think they do Christmas weird, or I don't.
Although they have a lot of days.
Or no, I think I'm
thinking
Thanksgiving
on a different
I'm thinking
day.
of Boxing Day.
Yeah, that's on
that was like the day after Christmas or something like that. I don't know. That might be an English thing. I don't know. They're foreigners and they're weird.
Canada's awesome. We have a lot of great Canadian listeners.
We love all of our Canadians. It is the Sportsocracy.
They know what it's all about.
ESPN Asheville. NFC contenders who maybe should make a move here as we are reaching the NFL trade deadline on November the 5th. Atlanta Falcons. What move do they need to make to not be the sacrificial lamb that wins the NFC South and then gets dusted in the playoffs?
Is using Bijan Robinson more an acceptable answer?
That's not a move. That's
okay. Then I'll go edge rusher, and would it be untoward to go back to the same bunny rabbit hole? They already added Matthew Judon.
Yep.
So maybe go get Josh Uche.
Okay.
And then you get two guys that are familiar with each other. They've played off of each other. Uche does not really seem to have much of a role in New England.
Mm-hmm.
He makes sense here.
Sure.
Situational pass rusher.
Sure.
Take a little weight off Arnold Ebiketie. Take a little weight off Troy Anderson. I mean, look, they've got a lot of talented athletic guys that are not really pass rushers. They're talented guys that occasionally get after a quarterback.
Yep.
Josh Uche gets after quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Is that a guy New England be willing to give up?
Yes. They've been willing to give him up for 2 solid years. It just seems that nobody seems to want to take him.
Is it that they don't want to take him or they don't want to give you what you think he's worth?
Now, that could be a problem.
Let's see here. Chicago Bears.
Hold on. I have to address something that Calvin Beer Maker Rogers said.
Okay. What did he say?
Said, can we address the fact that Tyler Allgeier's been better than Bijan Robinson? In what metric do you think Tyler Allgeier's been better than Bijan Robinson?
I mean, does he have higher yards per carry?
I don't know. I'm getting right there. I've watched a lot of Falcon games, and I at no point have ever looked at that and gone, yeah, he should be getting his. I'm not saying he's bad.
Right.
He's one of the best backup running backs in the NFL. Yeah, he's averaging 5.7 yards a carry.
Okay.
He also only has 56 carries, and I would have bet my house it was double that. Okay.
But maybe that's part of the point of you feel like he's getting the ball a lot because he's doing stuff with it when he gets the ball. His name gets mentioned every time he's on the field, then you think a guy's getting more tote than he actually is.
Good point by the Bear Master.
Yeah,
I did not
absolutely.
realize that. I guess that was a preconceived bias that I had of Bijan's just really, really good. And Algier's a dude. He's actually pretty good.
Okay, so Gambit fan says we're thinking of Thanksgiving. They do Thanksgiving in October. Up in Canada. Okay.
I have been invited to a Canadian Thanksgiving.
Really? What did they celebrate? We need to get like Armchair on here one day just to explain all of the Canadian traditions and stuff. Because I know why we celebrate Thanksgiving, right? Or we know the story somewhat. We know the story, the nursery rhyme that we were told as kids. It was the Pilgrims and the Native Americans coming together and sharing food and all that.
I don't think you and I heard the same nursery rhyme. Because mine was Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, I'm sure.
Little Miss Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the story that you were told.
You've met my parents,
but like
you
Thanksgiving in Canada, like that's one of those things I'd be interested to hear the story of.
Canadian traditions are awesome. They involve drinking heavily and being nice to people. I think we can all get behind that, and eating pancakes or waffles or whatever else you put maple syrup on.
Waffles.
Both are awesome. Don't shade pancakes.
I like the waffles better. They have the little holders for all of the butter. And
Ribbed
stuff.
for your pleasure. Yeah, I got it.
Ooh, why do you have to make it weird?
I did.
Wow. Okay, that was enough. Chicago Bears.
You'll never see it any other way. I just ruined waffles for Tank live on air.
There. Boo. Why? Chicago Bears.
It's a non-applicable for me. You've already added everything to that team you need to, and you really don't need to be throwing any unnecessary things at Caleb Williams.
And you don't need to be giving up future capital.
No.
You got a rookie quarterback that you need to build around for years.
For sure.
So let's not do it that way. The Philadelphia Eagles.
So I'm assuming I can't say head coach here.
You cannot.
Oh.
We don't trade for head coaches in midseason.
Is there any one position group that you think fixes Philadelphia? It's certainly on the defense.
Okay.
Because you're kind of stuck offensively. Your offense is Saquon Barkley and everybody else get out of the way. Every once in a while, Jalen Hurts will uncork one to A.J. Brown. But, even looking at it, what are you going to do, tap out on Bryce Huff already? Because he's been a disaster, don't get me wrong.
But would you want another one? Would you want another guy that you can put in a rotation?
They already have a rotation. Because you've got Sweat and Graham and Huff. And, how many of these guys do you need? Pro Football Talk put one of these out, and that was the first thing they said, defensive line depth. My God, they've got 10 defensive linemen on the roster.
That is true, but where else would you add?
I think you're stuck.
Yeah.
Because here's my problem. Making a deal in midseason is almost like admitting that you have made a mistake somewhere in your roster build. I don't really think Howie Roseman did. He did, from the minute he took Jalen Hurts to now, he has done what he had to do to make this team competitive. I would still trust him more in the offseason to fix this than I'll trust him to make a trade right now.
All right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What in the world would you be throwing darts at a board here? You got Baker Mayfield.
Cornerback. That would be.
And I would say it's wide receiver.
If you were making a move.
Because you obviously aren't going to have Chris Godwin, which means Mike Evans is about to be double teamed all the time. The running game seems to be getting on track. I'm not against the offensive line. You have no pass rush whatsoever. Yaya Diaby, I've laughed at your I get why you like him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watch Tampa Bay and go, I don't see why you like him.
Well, he's not.
I don't see why he doesn't drive you nuts, because he would drive me nuts.
Well, I mean, he does, but he's a second-year player. So most of that can be, I love the attitude of the kid. He's got talent to build on. Let's see what happens. You know, I started to fall in love with him during training camp because of that, because of the attitude, because of he kind of started to become a outspoken guy in the room. The results have not been great.
No.
He's not making the step that I hoped that he would, but I still feel like he's going to be just fine. A couple years from now, he'll grow into something. But you're right, they need to add a pass rush if you think you're a contender right now, and I think everybody in that building does.
I would be looking more to somebody like Greg Newsome if he were to come available to use him for the long haul.
Mm-hmm. You've got to do something.
Oh, because your secondary is terrible.
Yeah,
that defense is awful.
Completely terrible.
That's the reason I'm so adamant that they're not a contender, because it's Baker Mayfield getting into shootouts. Okay. I've read that book. It didn't go well the first time. I really have no reason to believe it's not going to go terribly the second time.
I would say if they make a move, they'll try to find a corner somewhere. But if they do, it's going to end up being some guy who really doesn't make a difference. They'll pick up Darian Kendrick or something.
The only one that I see that would make any form of sense would be Greg Newsome. And I've always thought he's really, really good. But outside of that, there's just not a lot out there.
Yeah. All right, and then I think we're almost out of teams.
Well, we've got two, and we're running out of time. So it feels like this would be a time to put a pin in this until after the daily draft for the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers.
Gotcha. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? Because I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Don't go hungry in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Western North Carolinians who lost income and have disaster-related expenses can get help buying food with DSNAP, the Disaster Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Call 1-844-453-1117 today, or find where you can apply at www.ncdhhs.gov/DSNAP. Apply by October 24th. Get help, get DSNAP, get food. 1-844-453-1117.
Haywood Regional Medical Center is thrilled to welcome primary care physician Dr. Tony Lee to our staff this fall. Dr. Lee will practice family medicine at our new Haywood Family Practice Asheville location on Acton Circle, just off the Enka-Candler exit on I-40. Dr. Lee is a local doctor returning home, bringing his expertise in primary care, a passion for prevention, and a commitment to lasting relationships with patients. Call 800-424-DOCS for an appointment. That's 800-424-DOCS, or visit haywoodmedicalgroup.com.
When it comes to electrical needs in Asheville, trust the experts at Grigg Electric. Veteran-owned and operated, Grigg Electric is Asheville's #1 choice for electrical services. They offer a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, or industrial installations in Buncombe, Henderson, Madison, McDowell, and Yancey counties. Call Grigg Electric today, 828-232-0021. That's 828-232-0021. Serving Western North Carolina since 1976. Online at griggelectric.com.
You don't have to keep living with that joint pain. Real lasting relief is possible with help from QC Kinetics. People here are getting their lives back, getting their mobility back, thanks to QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies that can revitalize your joints. I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine using your own body's healing properties, highly concentrated and carefully placed in your achy joint. Back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, these are cutting-edge treatments that require no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a quick, in-office procedure that can get you moving again. These protocols have been developed by medical professionals and under the leadership of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a former orthopedic surgeon and a pioneer in clinical regenerative medicine. Listen, Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love? Pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? You owe it to yourself to learn more. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
More dry weather expected the next several days, maybe for the rest of the month, maybe longer, as this dry streak now since Helene continues. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, near just above 70 degrees. Tonight, clear, 42. Friday, sunshine into the upper 70s. Saturday, a little cooler, but still sunny and dry, 75. Sunday, a little more cloud, but still some sun and even cooler. Highs in the low 60s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Luxe Cravings Box from Taco Bell. For $7, indulge in a Chicken Chalupa Supreme, beefy 5-layer burrito, and Doritos Locos Taco, plus chips and a drink. Get yours at Taco Bell for a limited time while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Need assistance from the recent disaster and want in-person help? You can find your nearest FEMA Disaster Recovery Center by visiting fema.gov/DRC or use disasterassistance.gov to apply with FEMA today.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Deposit. That's deposit. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It is a Thursday afternoon here in the Sportsocracy. Tomorrow will be a big day because every Friday is a
Football Friday.
I know I need it a little more. Give me some more.
It's not Friday.
Okay. I guess we'll get the good ones tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a Football Friday. We'll get you set for everything this weekend around college football and the NFL. Plus, we'll send you off on the right note with a little bit of vacation coming up this weekend.
Yes, we will be gone Monday and Tuesday. My first mock draft will be out on Tuesday.
Yes.
Tank is doing big boy things.
Yes, and I have been told that I can tell you what is coming up on Monday and Tuesday this week. I will not be here because Mark Starling and I will be in Nashville, Tennessee. We got an email the other day from the United Way, and the producers of this Hurricane Helene benefit concert that they're putting on is going to be much like you've seen after Hurricane Katrina, 9/11. They've done all of these where people come up and tell their stories of the hurricane and then pitch it to the next act in the hurricane relief concert. So we were asked to come and be like presenters for one of the acts that's going to be on this CBS United Way Hurricane Helene relief thing. You'll be able to watch it on CBS, Paramount Plus, and I think CBS All Access Plus or something like that. We don't know when it's going to air. All of the recording of it happens on Monday in Nashville, though. So this weekend is going to be quite the whirlwind weekend for us because all of the iHeart crew here, we're going down to Charlotte on Saturday for the big concert for Carolina with Luke Combs and Eric Church and all those guys. And then Mark and I will get on a plane from Charlotte Sunday, fly to Nashville, and we'll be there for the taping of the Hurricane Helene benefit concert. And then we'll be back on Tuesday. So we'll be off Monday and Tuesday, back on Wednesday. I'll give you all of the wonderful details of the weirdness that continues to. This is the only word that I have for all of the things that have happened. But that's going to be pretty cool to be a part of. And we're on to big things.
Well deserved for you and Mr. Starling.
Appreciate that. Okay, so let's get into the daily draft here, brought to you by our good friends at Dale's Pale Ale. The daily draft is if you could see any guy in the NFL get traded. No, we don't care about salary cap, dead cap hits.
None of that means
none
anything.
of that. Just somebody that you'd like to see in another environment. Who would it be?
I would like to take the first pick here.
Okay, sure.
Mine was a guy that after we did quarterback rankings yesterday, I started thinking about this.
Okay.
And that's what made me launch this as a daily draft topic. Mine's Trevor Lawrence. I would love to see him play for any competent NFL franchise. Because we keep looking at this like, oh, Doug Peterson's just going to get fired, and all of a sudden everything's going to be hunky-dunky. But then you look back at the Doug Marrone, Tom Coughlin, Doug Peterson, Urban Meyer. I don't have a whole lot of faith in your ability to hire.
Yeah.
And I with Trevor, I always go back to your one meaningless victory. Jets beating the Rams from you would have been the quarterback of the New York Jets. I'm not saying that's a more competent franchise. I'm saying it's a much more talented roster. And that will be one of the great what-ifs in NFL history to me.
Yeah.
What if the Jets don't win that game? What if they do go winless and they wind up with the number one pick in the draft and they took Trevor Lawrence?
But would you have broken him like you broke everybody else?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You might have. He was much more resilient than Zach Wilson. Zach didn't need to start immediately. Trevor was ready to start out the gate.
Yeah, but
then you got an owner that's got more money than practically any owner in the league and has shown an aptitude for, I will throw the money to try to win.
Yes.
You wouldn't have Nathaniel Hackett. Curious how he would have worked in that LaFleur offense when it was Mike, not Matt.
Mm-hmm.
He's the great what-if to me. I had a 1A and a 1B. Obviously, with me drafting first, you get a shot at my 1B.
Yes. I have no idea who you're talking about, though, so we'll just roll on here.
You might accidentally take one.
I may. You never know. My number one is going to be, this wasn't a problem for me until this year. Actually, I'm going to go with both of these guys, and we've already kind of talked about them. One is Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns. He is, like I said, already an all-time great at his position, and now I feel like, well, now he's just being wasted on a crap team. I didn't feel this way of when the defense was playing well last year, and they actually kind of had a shot, and you thought, well, maybe there'll be a quarterback change, and maybe, Deshaun Watson will come back, and the offense will figure it out. It's clear to me that that's never going to happen now. Not under Kevin Stefanski. And not as long as you're tied to Deshaun Watson. The problem is you're tied to Deshaun Watson, and I don't know what the hell you could bring in here to be the next step or the next head coach that's going to be saddled with Deshaun Watson. because you're still stuck with that. Myles Garrett is my one, and then I'm going to go Max Crosby. Because the Las Vegas Raiders are exactly what I thought they were. They are terrible.
And you've got two high-end pass rushers that are basically, at this point, wasting one of the prime years of their career.
Yeah. I mean, Max Crosby is at the point where I feel like he's at that point in his career where I should be focusing on trying to win something. And I'm never going to do it with the Las Vegas Raiders. It took me a long time to come around on Max. I thought, maybe he's the only piece on that defense, and, maybe he's just getting shined because he is the only piece on the defense. But he would be a superstar anywhere he goes in this league. And if the Detroit Lions can figure out how to get either one of these guys, I'd be jumping at the chance.
Neither one of those guys were on my list.
Really?
Nope. My next two are two guys that I think are just so pathetically misused where they are, and it is such a disservice. One of them's so young that you got a chance to get away from it. The other one, you're getting. I can't tell you're to 18, but you're certainly on the back nine. Alvin Kamara was my 1B.
Okay.
I absolutely hate how they use him. It drives me crazy every time I watch Saints games. Let's just run him up the keister of a guard. In spite of the fact that in terms of a satellite player, he's one of the best ones I've ever seen. And I don't know how long that burst is going to be there. It may not be there now. It might be why this is happening. I've just thought this basically the entire time Dennis Allen's been there through two offensive schemes. I would love to see what a good offensive system would look like with you.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is Devontae Smith. The sheer fact that – would you like to hear a list of guys that have more yardage right now than Devontae Smith?
Yes.
Wan'Dale Robinson, Breece Hall, Darius Slayton, Hunter Henry, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Keon Coleman, Tutu Atwell, Rashid Shaheed, who hasn't played in a handful of games, Jamison Williams, who is now suspended, Alec Pierce, Rashad Bateman, Jawan Jennings. Do you see something wrong with that? Because I do. I feel like Philadelphia has a passing scheme that is hit a big shot to A.J. Brown, hope and pray for the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish he played with somebody more competent than what he's got with Nick Sirianni.
Right.
I think he's one of the best route runners in this league. It is wasted time and time and time again.
Is that Nick's fault? Is it Kellen's fault? Is it Jalen's fault?
Yes.
All of them.
All of them.
That's a hell of a trifecta to try to get away from. All right. Guy who needs to be traded. I'm going to go locally. I'm going with J.C. Horn. Because I think he can be really, really good. I know the health things are an issue, but that's never going to get better until he finds a better spot. And that is one of those pieces where you could probably get some draft capital from somebody out of him. He's so young and with so much ability. Maybe I was kind of surprised you didn't find a way to pigeonhole him into a contender in that last little exercise. Because I think it's really the only trade piece that Carolina has that would give you anything.
And the injury history is just so bad that it's hard for me to believe a team would give up high-end capital.
Yeah.
And then?
CeeDee Lamb.
I know. I thought about him. I really did. I thought about him.
It's not necessarily a Dak thing. It's just, I wish you weren't a Cowboy. I would love for him to be matched up with damn near anybody in this league other than being stuck on a Cowboy team that I don't think's ever going to win anything. Dak's fine. They make a great little, tandem. He'll score you some points, and it gives Cowboy fans a reason to hang on. But this is more just personal issues of Man, I hate to see a guy that talented waste his career. And I think that's what's going to happen if he stays in Dallas. If you could match him up with a quarterback, just wish list, who would it be?
A wish list quarterback for CeeDee Lamb. I mean, I feel like Pat Mahomes is the most obvious answer.
That would be very nice.
Lamar Jackson would be mine, though.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Because I wonder how devastating that offense could be.
Oh.
If you added that kind of a downfield threat with CeeDee Lamb.
An element of a guy that can just do anything.
Yeah, and you can pound the ball like this, and then you could use Zay Flowers as the 2, where I feel like he should be. Baltimore, Stephen Tao, you'd be very happy with that, wouldn't you?
My next 2 are really selfish. One of them, because now, and I'll give Beer Master Rogers credit, Tyler Algier is my first one. Because now that I've seen that, and I realize that a lot of this has been in my head because I am so attached to Bijan Robinson, I would like to see Algier have his own backfield and Bijan have his own backfield where you're both just getting spells instead of running 1A and 1B. Because I don't buy into that theory that, well, workload would hurt either one of them. I don't think it would.
Hey, trade Tyler Algier to the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a solid one. The other one's Will Levis. I believe he is going to be one of those quarterbacks that goes down as just an unmitigated bust, and nobody's ever going to hear it any different because he's now matched with a coach that just doesn't believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's going to get a second shot somewhere. It's going to take 2 years. You're going to waste so much time and probably limit his ceiling because he winds up stuck with Brian Callahan, and it's just a match made in Hades.
Mm-hmm.
One more to you, Mr. Spencer.
Kyle Pitts.
That is a really good one.
To the Kansas City Chiefs. He is the replacement for Travis Kelce.
I don't want to make them any better. Kansas City's already sliding into the please don't make me hate you. Your tight end's haircut and your star quarterback's wife. I weathered both of those storms.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be Kansas City. That's the first one that pops into my mind because we've been talking for the first 7 weeks of the season that the Travis Kelce doesn't have it anymore. He can't separate whatever. Maybe we turn him into more old tight end, and we bring in Kyle to do the down the field things.
Kyle Pitts is just one of those guys that's going to take a very specific offensive mind because he is a glorified wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's built like Calvin Johnson. He's not quite – when you watch him, he doesn't separate like that. And so I don't know who it would be. I would love to see him in another place. That's a really good one to end out for you.
Yep. All right. So I went Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, J.C. Horn, CeeDee Lamb, Kyle Pitts. All guys that I wish would be anywhere but where they're at right now. Maybe not anywhere. Trevor Lawrence, Alvin Kamara, Devontae Smith, Tyler Algier, and Will Levis for Flostradamus.
Look, we're talking new faces, or familiar faces in new places with the daily draft, but we've also got familiar faces in new places in the NBA, and it's back. New season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from behind the arc? Who's crashing the boards, grabbing rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and prop bets, and you can make them all on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time, new DraftKings Plus customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
High prices are like a money vacuum sucking your wallet dry.
No!
But don't fret, you could win our inflation vacation. $1,000 to ease your money woes. Listen for chances to win every weekday.
Explore a career as a correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
Don't go hungry in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Western North Carolinians who lost income and have disaster-related expenses can get help buying food with DSNAP, the Disaster Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Get help even if you aren't enrolled in FNS or food stamps or didn't qualify in the past. Proof of identity is required. Apply now. Call 1-844-453-1117 or find where you can apply at www.ncdhhs.gov/dsnap. You can also get more information at ncdhhs.gov. The deadline is October 24th, and you can apply starting October 18th. Call 1-844-453-1117. That's 1-844-453-1117. Get DSNAP. Get food. Get on the road to recovery.
The 2024 general election is right around the corner, and News Radio 570 WWNC is covering every angle of it for you. From the local elections right here in Western North Carolina to the state offices in Raleigh, and of course, the race for the White House. News Radio 570 WWNC is your official election information station.
You don't have to keep living with that joint pain. Real lasting relief is possible with help from QC Kinetics. People here are getting their lives back, getting their mobility back, thanks to QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies that can revitalize your joints. I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine using your own body's healing properties, highly concentrated and carefully placed in your achy joint. Back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, these are cutting-edge treatments that require no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a quick, in-office procedure that can get you moving again. These protocols have been developed by medical professionals and under the leadership of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, a former orthopedic surgeon and a pioneer in clinical regenerative medicine. Listen, is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love? Pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? You owe it to yourself to learn more. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville.
I'm Julian Edelman. I'm Rob Gronkowski. Welcome to Dudes on Dudes. We're going to highlight players, and we're just going to sit here and talk about them, and we'll get into the types of dudes. Is Randy Moss a stud or a freak? Is Tom Brady a dog or a dude's dude?
We're going to find out, Jules. New episodes drop every Thursday during the NFL season.
Listen to Dudes on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Dudes on Dudes to start listening.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Back in the Sportsocracy, this is ESPN Asheville. It's a Thursday afternoon. We've been talking trade deadline because it's coming up very, very soon. October. November the 5th. It is coming up. We've done dream scenarios. Who do we want to see get moved? I've seen some flipping out in the chat here, like why would they ever trade CeeDee Lamb? They're not. It's a wish list.
That's guys we wanted to see get moved.
Like I hate the fact that CeeDee Lamb's a Cowboy. The Cowboys would never trade him. It's never going to happen. I'd love to see him somewhere else. That was the only exercise that we were going through there for the daily draft. Brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale. We got to wrap up our conversation, though, about contenders in the NFC that actually might make a move and would be better off in doing so. The San Francisco 49ers. It hasn't gone as you wanted it to, obviously, to start out the season. But if they were going to make a move here, what move would you make?
Is there a team in the NFL that more needs to make a move than the San Francisco 49ers?
No.
I agree with
You're
you.
killed by injury. You have to find something, or this year is just done.
And what is it that you add? I tell you, you can only make one deal. What is that deal?
You can only make one deal.
For me, it's not receiver because with Debo healthy, you're still fine.
Yeah, I've got so many young options. I mean, I kind of feel like
Pearsall, Cowing, Jennings.
Right, they're not as talented, but I was going to draw the comparison to Green Bay. Right, your young receivers are not as talented as Green Bay's are, but you have so many pieces here that could work. Why would you waste capital doing that? I'm thinking offensive line. Upgrade somewhere on the offensive line.
I believe
guard maybe.
San Francisco is in the boat that we talk about Detroit being in.
Okay.
If you don't find somebody that can rush the passer, I don't care what else you do.
Mm-hmm.
Because Leonard Floyd has been a legit joke, as I told you he would be.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't have Javon Hargrave, so the interior of that line is killed as well. I don't see how they can come through this deadline and not make a move on that defensive line somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And where could that move be?
I'll be honest with you. I would be calling the same teams I would be calling if I were Detroit. Because I would be looking for an impact like that.
Yeah, so you get the one that's left over.
Pretty much. Because I think they need a defensive tackle. I think they need an edge guy. And look at what it's doing to the rest of the defense. Fred Warner's the best linebacker in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine. Devondre Campbell, below average all year long. The entire secondary, below average all year long. Why is that? Because you've got one guy that can get to a quarterback. Without blitzing, 4-man rush, you have one guy that can win. Everybody else is an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't change that, then I don't care about the rest of this. None of it matters. Because you're throwing Nick Bosa out there, and you just take care of it. Nick Bosa is at times getting double and triple teamed because they're not scared of anything else. I pulled this in the break. All right, you know I'm a fan of the PFF metric.
Yes.
Do you know where the guys on that line rank? 119 eligible defensive ends. 119 eligible defensive tackles, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
What's the highest they have?
84.
53, 59, 90. Edge. What's the highest they have outside of Nick Bosa? 40 and 84. Nobody else has played enough to even register.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and guess what? If they did, they'd be worse. You have nothing. This is the exact problem I talked about in the offseason of you go through any form of injuries and you're screwed because there's just nobody there. I mean, I look up and down this roster and go, if they didn't play for the San Francisco 49ers, would they play on another team in the NFL? And routinely, my answer is no. Routinely, my answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find a handful of guys that routinely play snaps on that defense that would play anywhere else. You've got to have another high-end pass rusher. You did it last year with Chase Young. I would say it didn't really work out, but that doesn't mean you don't do it again.
Yeah, it worked out at times.
He was fine.
He was fine.
He was fine, and he got himself a big money deal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
For a year.
On another prove-it deal. And unfortunately, he went to a team where he can't prove anything.
Well, and when you're hurt all the time, it really kind of defeats the purpose. Shockingly enough, the line for the 49ers hasn't been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's been great. But to me, the defensive line is a way bigger problem.
All right, and then the Dallas Cowboys.
And this is why I wanted to do them last. It's not really the position. You have to find somebody, somewhere, that can take some of the pressure off CeeDee Lamb. Because he's having to do things that are superhuman just for you to win games. CeeDee Lamb has and I can't remember the exact number. He has an 8-catch, 87-yard day, doesn't get in the end zone, you're getting housed.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rico Dowdle's fine. He runs hard and all that. Ezekiel Elliott's completely washed. Brandon Cooks is absolutely washed. And you just don't have anything else.
So you're going offensive weapon to
And
put
I don't
alongside
really care
CeeDee.
what position it plays.
Okay.
You think it's running back? Okay, let's try that. You want to add another wide receiver? Let's try that.
Alvin Kamara, since you mentioned him earlier.
That would not be a bad one.
Yeah.
Because that at least gives you somebody that a defense has to acknowledge.
Mm-hmm. You don't have one of those outside of CeeDee.
No. Jalen Tolbert is not scaring anybody. Brandon Cooks is not scaring anybody.
I am kind of shocked you didn't go a defense, though. As big of problems as they have had on the defensive side.
Can you fix anything by adding one player? No.
No, it needs several.
Yeah. Your secondary is terrible. You've got one guy that can get home in terms of rushing the passer. DeMarcus Lawrence looks 80 years old at times. Your linebacking core is mediocre at best.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad defense. Yeah, now people are seeing what I was saying about Dallas before Dan Quinn left. You got a couple players. You got a couple grossly overrated players. And then you got just a bunch of dudes. You had a great coordinator. Now you got Mike Zimmer, who outside of being the best wingman in the NFL, not a whole lot of positives.
He is a dog, though.
No doubt. Oh, yeah, you want everybody at your table to get the numbers of that bachelorette party over there? Mike Zimmer's who you said. Does that make any sense to me? Not a damn bit.
Mm-mm.
Is it true? For sure. Dog.
You're in this.
Fortunately, he's also a dog as a defensive coordinator, and it's not the D-A-W-G good kind. It's the bow wow, woof woof, holy crap, you are awful at this, bad kind.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the commercial break, it will be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Or dry weather expected the next several days, maybe for the rest of the month, maybe longer, as this dry streak now since Helene continues. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, near just above 70 degrees. Tonight, clear, 42. Friday, sunshine into the upper 70s. Saturday, a little cooler, but still sunny and dry, 75. Sunday, a little more cloud, but still some sun and even cooler. Highs in the low 60s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by NC Medicaid for more people.
My name's Kate Roper. I had a tumor removed from my left ear, and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. It's probably saving my life.
See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
If you missed our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas! Gee, it's so incredible. See it all at our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Streaming only on Hulu right now.
Does your home need a new look? Step into a world of flooring possibilities at the Carpet Barn. Plush carpet, sleek hardwood, stylish tile. The Carpet Barn has it all. Whether you want comfort, durability, or that wow factor, you'll find it in their 300,000 square feet of flooring options. Find the perfect floor for your lifestyle and budget. Head to carpetbarncarolina.com for your free in-home estimate now. Veteran owned and operated. The Carpet Barn, the one-stop shop for flooring.
Need assistance from the recent disaster and want in-person help? You can find your nearest FEMA Disaster Recovery Center by visiting FEMA.gov/DRC or use disasterassistance.gov to apply with FEMA today.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day.
That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
Back in the Sportsocracy, this is ESPN Asheville. Time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Greene.
Don't do crimes!
Crimes are never a good thing. You don't do crimes in an airport either. Sometimes you don't instigate crimes or challenge other people when you don't know a lot about them, right? Two strangers just meeting, you got some kind of random beef. You don't know who you're picking on. You don't know what that other guy has seen, right? You ever done that, Jeremy? I mean, you're a big guy and you do like to fight. So, I mean, I'm just, has there ever been a moment where you chirped at somebody who chirped at you and then you rethought it? Like, I don't know if I should have done that. Does that ever happen to you?
Oh, I mean, I've lived by a very simple philosophy of, I don't know how many of y'all it would take to whip my ass, but I'm going to find out.
I guess it's one way to look at life. I, on the other hand, am not. Of course, if I was 6'4" and 300 pounds, I might pick a fight or two.
God
myself.
made me real big, real strong, and real dumb. That's an unholy trinity.
God made me short, lovable, and very affable. Just you called my mama what? She kind of is.
That makes you really palatable as long as you never end up in prison.
No, no doubt about it. That's why I always say that's never going to end well for me.
No.
All right, so
I had a great joke right there, and I could not tell it, and that makes me sad. Right at the chat.
This story is a viral video, and I don't know. I can't figure out what airport this is in, although this is written in on an Atlanta website, so maybe this happened at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. I'm not sure. Anyway, so the video starts. There's a guy, a white older guy in a black T-shirt with like cargo shorts on, and he's sitting there next to his wife. Across the way from them in the waiting area, getting into the terminal, there is a young black gentleman wearing a red hoodie, and you can't really see anything else, you can't really tell anything distinguishable about his appearance while he's sitting there. And apparently the guy in the red hoodie was using some abrasive language. Right, and there were kids nearby, and so Miss Karen looks at her husband and says, "You need to make that guy stop cussing."
That's the worst. You need to take care of him. Oh,
yeah,
he's not messing with me.
No, he's not, and he looks like he should be minding his own business. And in the video, the guy gets up, he walks over to the guy in the red hoodie. And he says, "Hey man, there's kids around here. Respectfully, I don't know anything about you, but maybe you should not be cussing." And the guy looks at him as, young guy with glasses and a hoodie probably would at any older man who walks up and looks like your dad. He's got that salt and pepper hair, He goes, "Maybe you should mind your own damn business." And then, of course, the guy kind of got rankled, and he was like, "Well, come on, man. I'm just, and The guy goes, no, let's do this. And he's like, you want to go outside? He stands up. And when he stands up, the hood falls back. The dude has boxing gloves hanging on his neck. And immediately you can see this guy who's probably 6'3". You know, he's a sizable man. Shrink away like a little boy and go, okay, maybe we'll just go over this. So apparently this guy he's an actual boxer, and he's going from event to event, and he didn't want to, I guess, keep his boxing gloves in his bag. He's got them hanging around his neck. That's got to be the number one deterrent for maybe you should just mind your business.
Oh, no, I can think of a few better than that. Man's wearing a mask, takes it off, and has 7 teardrops on his face.
That would work, too.
Alrighty, I am going to go falafel myself. That's what I believe I will do now.
Yeah, he bit off a little bit more than he could chew, or his wife bit off a little more than he could chew in that scenario. They did have a minor altercation, but it wasn't quite as violent as it probably would have been had the gloves not come out, literally.
I've had a few of those scenarios where, you know, somebody smarts off from across a room and you start smarting off, and then you get close, and then you just go, all right, here we go. Looks like we're doing this now. It's not going to be fun. I have a scar on the back of my head from one of those.
Beer bottle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't awesome. 4:30 today, big announcement coming out of Los Angeles County. It would be from the DA, whose name is Mr. Gasson. They are resentencing the Menendez brothers. According to Deadline, the decision has already been made, and they could be out in a matter of months.
Really?
If you have watched the latest docuseries from Netflix, there have been some, we'll say, new developments in that case that may or may not be true. I have no idea. It was really hard to watch. There was one episode specifically that was insanely hard to watch. You told me you didn't get all the way through it.
No.
I think it's episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's one camera. It never moves. The whole episode. It never moves once. When you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
6 minutes in, you'll go, I think I want to go to the next episode because I don't like this.
Yeah. No, we started watching it, and I think we got through maybe an episode and a half.
That was always a weird trial anyway. The first one was declared a mistrial. And then in the second one, different things didn't get admitted into evidence, and there was never really a great explanation as to why. It's all a very, very strange story. But 4:30 today, they will be announcing the fate of Lyle and Eric Menendez.
But there's no question. They did it, right?
Oh, they never doubted. They never disputed that they did it. They disputed why they did it.
Oh. Okay, I think I know. All right.
Yeah, Mommy and Daddy were not great people from the way it sounds.
Yes. No.
I don't know that to be true.
No. There have always been talks of there was some abuse.
Yes.
That was happening when they were younger. So.
And apparently the docuseries really did nothing but put a big magnifying glass on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then people chimed in, and now we're here.
Yeah. I saw there's another one too. Like when you watch one of these, now you start getting all of the ads for all of the other ones. Like there was one that's called like the Menendez brothers and Menudo or something, and how the abuses are similar between those cases.
Oh, their dad was involved.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, interesting. I'm going to have to watch those.
Yeah, the dad was an executive for the record company. That
Was he?
signed
Okay.
Menudo.
All right. All right.
RCA, I think, was who he worked for.
Sounds about right. See, I clearly have more episodes to watch.
That's only lightly touched on.
Okay.
See, I'm that guy that falls asleep.
I was going to say
watching
this other thing
documentaries.
acted like that's the title of it. It's like the Menendez brothers and Menudo, an American scandal or something like that. I don't know.
They were intertwined.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It would take me the rest of the show to explain how, but
right. We don't need you to do that because we've got things to get into. Thursday night football tonight. LA Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings suffering their first loss of the season last week to the Detroit Lions. LA Rams hoping that they get some pieces back. Cooper Kupp's supposed to play tonight. Puka Nakua's still weeks away, isn't he?
That was the way it sounded, yes. Does the line not stink to you? That line feels weird, doesn't it?
What is it?
The Rams are a 3-point dog. It's in L.A., which means less than nothing. That line stinks.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell knows Sean McVay really well.
And maybe that's it.
Maybe
this is the teacher versus the master thing, and you don't ever give, or the master versus the student thing, and you don't ever really give the student much hope against the master.
I don't know.
Because everything he knows, I taught him how to do. That's always the thought in this. That's why we always talked about, assistants going to play Nick Saban or the assistants going to play Bill Belichick.
I don't know. It's strange to me that this number has moved and it's gone down. You can find it at 2.5 in certain places. How much of the money actively do you think is on the Rams to win this game outright?
7%.
You're too high. It's less than 2. Then why is the number coming down? 80+% of the money's on Minnesota to win this game. 98+% on them to win it outright. Money line straight up, not dealing with the points.
Mm-hmm.
So why is the number coming down? Either Vegas knows something I don't know, or there's a rat. And I'm never a fan. This was like the Cardinals and the Chargers on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
That line does not actively make any sense. Weird. What happened? Cardinals won.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that's in the realm of possibility here? Is this Rams pull a surprise and Minnesota drops 2 in a row?
I don't think so. And that could be it, that it's a trap game. And I considered that of, is this Vegas saying that you've got a non-divisional game sandwiched between the Lions and the Colts, one who is in your division, another who is competitive enough. Those are both home games. This is a one-off on the road on a short week. It's a younger team. I don't know. Here's what I look to happen tonight. Justin Jefferson to get anything and everything he wants at every impasse because they have no one to slow him down. They don't have 2 guys that can slow him down. And so to me, this is a pretty straightforward game. If you're Minnesota, this is a game that if you're as good as you think you are, if you're as good as we think you are, this is a game you can't lose. You have to go in here, take care of business, beat an inferior team that is absolutely killed health-wise, and roll on. Do you have any reason to fear that they will do that?
I am wondering because the latest update is that Nakua is questionable and that they're still optimistic. Or
Nakua's on IR. He would have had to have been withdrawn at some point today, and that has not happened.
Even though he's designated to return?
It doesn't matter. You've got to designate him to return.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like you could just show up 90 minutes before a game and go, he's not on IR anymore. No, there's a process to that, and they didn't do that.
I thought that's what designated to return meant. As soon as you're ready.
Designated to return means you can come back.
Right.
If you're not one of those, I think you 3, then as soon as you go on IR, you're done. But there is a paper trail that you have to go down. They didn't do that.
But that's what
Nakua's not going to play.
But that's what I'm saying is I thought that was the process. Once you designated them to return, you could just return at any time in there. You're saying that there has to be a
21-day window. They have to return within 3 weeks of the designation to return.
Right.
But you have to make that designation. They didn't do that. I've already gotten the media blip from the NFL today. He was not designated to return. He is not coming back tonight. You can call him questionable. You can call him whatever you want to. Unless somehow the L.A. Rams went full MacGyver and managed to do it with the NFL and get them to leave it off the media drop, which I'm going to say didn't happen. Puka Nakua's not playing, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't care if he did.
I mean, I would because it gives you more opportunity to score points.
The injury I was told was a 6 to 8 week injury. You're at week 5 on a short week. and you're going to bring him back here? Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah.
That reeks of desperation.
Yeah. The getting Cooper Kupp back, though, is a boost to your offense. The question I have is this defense good enough to not shut them down, but keep them at 17 to 21 points?
No. You're going to have to beat Minnesota in a shootout. They get Justin Jefferson being defended by Kobe Durant or Darius Williams or whoever it is. Advantage me. I don't even need to know who's on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the fact that they have still got issues on the line. There's still no Steve Avila. There's still no Connor. Now there's no Connor McDermott. There's no Jonah Jackson. There's no Joe Noteboom. There's no KT Leviston. And so now you're going to take that line that can't withstand any form of injury, and you're going to throw it up against the Vikings, who move more pieces, and they have the walk up, and it's all about communication. I don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it. This feels like one of those times that Vegas is trying to mess with me. It worked for a couple days, but when push came to shove and I had to put my thumbprint on a ticket, it was Minnesota.
Yeah. Minnesota minus the 3. It does seem fishy. And I really don't think the Rams can do it, which means they probably will. Which means probably this ends up being one of those games where somehow, some way, the Rams end up winning 23-22.
Jekyll had a really good point that Puka's available in some of the betting lines. The thing you got to be careful with that is if he stays on IR, which as of right now, I'm looking at the report from the NFL, he's still on.
Okay.
Then that becomes a no action. There's no risk to Vegas. They set it like he would play. If you make a wager on it and he's inactive, that becomes a no play.
Right. They just give you your money back and move on.
So there's no risk to Vegas.
Okay. All right.
There was a glimpse of hope this morning, but that has already passed.
Yeah.
Now, he could play next week, coming off a long rest week. But him playing on 4 days, in a 4-day week, that never made sense.
Mm-hmm. But it is a good sign that he's close, that he's real close. And if you can get him back and get this team somewhat closer to healthy, then maybe it's not over. I mean, you are 2-5 or 2-4, probably going to be 2-5 after tonight against Minnesota. A long way to go, but winnable games still left on the schedule. And plus, you're building for next year.
It's hard for me to say you're building for next year when you have a quarterback that's 84 years old.
Yeah, but he's there, and he's not going anywhere. Right? They're not. He's under contract, and I don't think anybody's trading for him.
I don't either.
I don't think anybody's coming to call on the Los Angeles Rams saying, please, can I have a year of Matt Stafford?
The only one that would have made sense would have been Miami, and that was if Tua absolutely could not come back.
This is his sunset. This is the sunset trip for him. I don't know that there's there is another act for Matt Stafford after this. He's, 36? 37? Maybe 38 years old? He's not one that's going to make it to 42.
He will be 37 the week before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know that there's any move to be made here.
What is the path that the Rams win this game?
Justin Jefferson decides I'm sick and I can't play.
Oh, yeah. So Justin Jefferson goes full scoots.
He does.
He's not able to play.
Yeah, he goes full Lamar Jackson. Oh, caught a pass. Got to go.
Mine would be they lean on Kyron Williams. They're able to keep the ball away from Minnesota. And they win a low-scoring gross fest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any way that an upright Sam Darnold and an upright Justin Jefferson are playing one of those games. It would be one thing if I saw a player and went, hey, well, they could put him on Jefferson, have the safety over the top, and you can mitigate him, and maybe T.J. Hawkinson doesn't play, and then you put it on Jordan Addison and Jalen Naylor and Aaron Jones. Oh, wait, that's still probably good enough to beat you. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to score all that well.
No, I don't have much faith for the Rams tonight. The Minnesota Vikings are a 3-point favorite. Anytime touchdown scorer, Justin Jefferson.
He's the layup. I would like Aaron Jones. And if Cooper Kupp is healthy and active, I would like him as well.
Mm-hmm. NFL season, there's a lot of money to be made in the gambling markets. The NBA season is here, though, as well. And you want to talk about an opportunity to make a whole bunch of money. If you can correctly predict the king of the court in the first 10 days of the NBA season, then you may have a chance to win some big money. And you can find out all about it at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. DraftKings offering $1 million a day in bonus bets for the first 10 days of the NBA season. $10 million total in bonus bets up for grabs, and here's how you do it. All you got to do is opt in and get a daily NBA Profit Boost token. You pick a pregame NBA player prop to boost, and if that player then leads the league that night in points plus rebounds plus assists, then you win a share of $1 million in bonus bets. Last night it was LaMelo Ball for the Charlotte Hornets.
Night before that it was Anthony Davis, and we've already had a winner.
Absolutely. You could be if you guess it right tonight in their slate of games. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code WPEK. That's code WPEK to win a share of $1 million in bonus bets if your player is the king of the court. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. One NBA prop bet profit boost per customer. Tokens expire at the start of the final NBA game each day when offered. Use the token on the PRA stat leader to receive an equal share of $1 million in non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 168 hours. Additional wagering restrictions apply. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
And if I were a betting man and I were looking for who I was going to play in that role tonight, the only question that I would ask is, you want to know how I got these scars?
Or to quote him from the other day,
Jokic, Jokic, Jokic!
Joker!
We'll be back with you tomorrow right here in the Ingalls studio at noon on ESPN Asheville. See you then.
Calling all science lovers, Asheville Museum of Science is open.
Go discover dinosaur fossils and interactive nature and space exhibits. Curiosity will build us up, so curious minds, visit AshevilleScience.org to plan your visit today.
Storm Pro Solution is here to help you in your time of need, providing top roofing and water damage restoration services, tree removals, and storm damage assessments. Call Storm Pro Solution at 828-318-7096.
This is an ad by BetterHelp Online Therapy. October is the season for wearing masks and costumes, but some of us feel like we wear a mask and hide more often than we want to. At work, in social settings, around our family. Therapy can help you learn to accept all parts of yourself so you can stop hiding and take off the mask. Because masks should be for Halloween fun, not for your emotions. Therapy is a great tool for facing your fears and finding ways to overcome them. If you're thinking of starting therapy but you're afraid of what you might uncover, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Take off the mask with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/takecare today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/takecare.
When it comes to electrical needs in Asheville, trust the experts at Grigg Electric. Veteran-owned and operated, Grigg Electric is Asheville's #1 choice for electrical services. They offer a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, or industrial installations in Buncombe, Henderson, Madison, McDowell, and Yancey counties. Call Grigg Electric today, 828-232-0021. That's 828 888-232-0021. Serving Western North Carolina since 1976. Online at GrigElectric.com. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Or dry weather expected the next several days, maybe for the rest of the month, maybe longer, as this dry streak now since Helene continues. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, near just above 70 degrees. Tonight, clear, 42. Friday, sunshine into the upper 70s. Saturday, a little cooler, but still sunny and dry, 75. Sunday, a little more cloud, but still some sun and even cooler. Highs in the low 60s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. As we're recovering from Hurricane Helene, count on Lowe's to help with cleanup and repair. With necessities like roofing, lumber, and electrical in the quantities you need. Visit Lowe's in-store or online to find out about relief efforts in your area or get emergency supplies now.
Get on the campaign trail while you're on the road to work.
Every morning, Mark Starling gets you caught up with the latest election coverage.
On News Radio 570 WWNC.
Western North Carolina's election station.
From the Ingalls studio.